to Just Another Nerdy Podcast. I'm Jay.
I'm Drizzt.
Tommy MF White.
Alright guys, so just a quick social promo. Hit us up at facebook.com. Also hit us up at Twitter at JA Nerdy Podcast. You can look us up on Google, iTunes, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, CastBox if that's your fucking speed. Now you can hit us up on Twitch live every Wednesday at 3. Yep. Yeah, you guys are gonna share a mic. I'm so sorry. I can't do the
clippy fucking
the clip mic because it gets every time I talk.
It gets pretty fuckety, dude.
So you can download us and put a little nerdy into your goddamn pocket.
Go for it.
Hey guys, so there's like, oh my god, 2 seconds ago we had 3 viewers and now we're back down to 0. So just as soon as we did the intro,
we're like, oh, we don't want to.
You dicks!
We were like in the slideshow that kept
a quick social thing. Fuck that.
The slideshow had them memorized, and once we like turned it off, they're they ran away.
Those are the same losers I just saw. They look slightly different. You do look quite different than the photo we have of you, Tommy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, you've got the beard now, and like beforehand, you're just like, I'm taking a photo of myself. You almost look like the self-absorbed one in the photo that I chose. But I don't have any better photos. Chris, he made it.
Hey, Chris.
He found us.
What's up, buddy?
Chris, hit follow, buddy.
I wish I was.
Have you hit follow yet? Hit follow.
I wish I was better at Photoshop, because I would Photoshop the iPhone out of that picture and put like a Game Boy or something in my hands. Because that's that seems like super.
Oh, why
nerdy.
don't we do just shitty photoshopping?
Oh god!
On top of those shitty images, like at the end of your devil horns, we could put what
lightning or something.
Yeah, we could put like shitty lightning graphics and like.
Shitty clip art.
Shitty clip art.
Oh, I'm a master at clip art.
Game Boy.
Give me that Microsoft
in your hand as you're sitting there, and then me, I'm still holding Surge.
Alright, Jay, you have an outline. What the fuck are we talking about?
Oh, we've got tons of shit, but first things first, guys. Do we want to save it for after the whole newsreel? We're gonna talk. You did not watch Fratzel Rock? You fuckers!
I lost my internet last night, dude.
I woke up early this morning to watch it! You cockbags!
Motherfucker, fuck you, I was doing homework.
We let you down. We let you down since then.
You guys could have sent me a message, we could have like had everyone come early, then we would have just fucking watched it.
I was planning to, and then I didn't.
Sons of bitches. Chris is following us now.
Yeah.
So, did you see this new graphic and stuff?
Yeah, I did not. I did not see that. That's very nice. I like it.
It's less invasive.
It is.
I like that.
It's just like right there.
Yeah, and then it's got, just our logo, and then it's got like our Twitter handle, because Twitter's a bunch of fucking dicks.
Really?
So, Just Another Nerdy Podcast is too many letters. JAMP is not enough letters. So we're stuck with JA Nerdy Podcast like a bunch of bitches.
Back.
I'm not salty on Twitter at all.
Bitches who don't watch Castle Rock.
Okay, so why don't we talk about Henry Deaver then? Did you watch the Henry Deaver episode?
Oh, that episode was so confusing. I had to think about it for a minute.
So it's the last episode before the finale. You find out that that the kid is also Henry Deaver, but the Henry Deaver that in this world died as a young baby
and is now actually.
Is it okay? So what do you think? Is he?
He's what I think he is personally. What I think. I think he's a walking calamity. He shouldn't. Exist.
Everywhere he goes, shit goes wrong.
He shouldn't exist.
Do you believe him though?
I believe it. He shouldn't exist. Therefore, anything around him will fall to ruin.
Because I think one of the best things that they did in that episode was that they made you question.
Yeah.
Do you believe Henry Deaver? Or do you believe he's actually Henry Deaver, or is he still the fucking devil?
Exactly.
Because I mean, he is so here's the thing: no matter what, he is a walking calamity. No matter where he goes, shit goes down.
Yeah, you cannot avoid it.
Yeah, you can't.
He can't touch people.
Yeah,
literally.
Yeah, well, because he even touched Mickey, and Mickey went nuts and shot everybody.
Yeah, Mickey
went got himself.
Shit. There's actually. Do you guys know what SCP files are?
Hook me up.
All right, so SCP, it's a. Obviously, it's.
Do you have a hairbrush?
I do. Yeah, I have.
Sorry.
Look at this. Look at this gorgeous fucking hair.
Yeah.
I need to keep it not tangled. So
yeah, you gotta take care of your mane.
Yesterday, and
you just decided to bring it in.
Well, I needed to brush my hair. I ran out of the house.
You should brush your hair on screen. Just
bring the camera close up. Just have me brushing my hair. For 5 minutes.
The unfortunate thing is camera angles are not the thing that we fucking are good at right now.
For a guy who went to theater and film school, you're not very good at camera angles, okay?
So is it one camera, shitty space?
we have one camera in a very small room.
So our best
fucking slack.
If I had my option, we'd be filming long ways, because the three of us can fit along this wall, but
no doubt.
Right here is a fucking door, and then over here is a fucking window, and then blocking all the space is a fucking desk.
Hopefully we'll have that ready. Anyway,
I can only do so much!
Okay. So I'm going to take the mic for a second.
Hey,
SCP files. So.
We miss you.
They are they're basically case files for anomalous objects and creatures.
Okay.
And the prisoner, or I guess Henry Deaver, in Castle Rock reminds me of a specific SCP. I can't remember what his name was. I think it's 131 1339.
You're talking about where the guy was death? And...
No. He's called his code name is the Old Man from Nowhere.
Yeah, and at the end he's talking about
the brother's death.
Yeah, okay, so
one piece of advice, my child. If ever you play death in a game of cards for your life, never do one thing.
Never win. So anyways, we did talk about that on the writing.
That was on our writing podcast.
Yeah, that was on our writing, which we're hoping to continue.
Yeah, hopefully we'll pick that back up. I liked that. That was really fun.
So I think so for those of you guys who don't know, quick announcement.
Hello.
Next week, so I'm actually moving Friday, which means the podcast is moving on Friday. Not moving to Fridays.
No.
But the set is going to move.
We're not going to be in this shitty small room. We're going to be in another shitty small room.
It's not shitty. It's a little better.
We're going to be in a marginally less shitty small room.
So next week we're probably not going to stream, or if we do, it'll only be for a few moments. But we're going to be discussing next week. We're still going to want to meet, and we're going to discuss hopefully the format of the podcast to kind of grow it, and make it a little better, because we are improving every day. I mean,
so we can learn and change and grow.
Yeah, that is the point of this podcast, is to grow. Drizzt should grow it long and be the male version of Rapunzel, or whatever her name is. It's Rapunzel.
You got it right. I'm hoping to grow it to my face.
Drizzt lets it flow in the wind. You do remind me of Greg Universe in that sense.
I actually cosplayed as a young Greg at Anime Iowa this year.
You told me that. Yeah, that's dope. That is... Greg is Greg is fantastic.
Nobody recognized the character I was until I was outside throwing up on the ground. No questions as to why. Anyone?
What? Why?
I was having an anxiety attack.
Oh, why you were throwing up on the ground. So I've just been around enough youths to say that usually that story ends with I was fucking hammered. So it's nice to hear you say,
it was right after I did the 18 plus improv thing.
Oh, okay.
And, I don't handle crowds very well. So I puked on the ground outside, and then a guy walked up to me. I think he was dressed as Ichigo from Bleach. He's like, dude, are you Greg Universe? I'm like, fuck yeah, I am, buddy.
That's awesome.
And I puked on the ground one more time. I was like, you alright?
I hated Anime Iowa the first year I went. Because I bought that cloak and everything for my... I bought it for my favorite Naruto character, because my girlfriend at the time was like, nobody dresses up as that character. You're fine. I was like, sweet. I could buy the cloak and be lazy. I was there for like all of 10 minutes, and the one guy that dressed as the character that I wore the cloak of was in full-on ninja gear with the headband and the weapons and everything, and he was like, dude, sweet cloak, and I was like, fuck.
Sweet cloak, fuck off!
Yeah, you don't got it.
Oh my god. So, Chris Battlegoose, welcome to the Nerdy Podcast.
That is an interesting face.
It is no longer the Diehm stream. Chris Battlegoose, how you doing? Thanks for popping in. So okay, I was gonna tell you guys. So Mermaid Queen, she popped up streaming the other night. Mm-hmm. She definitely. And I'm like, oh hey, what's up, nerdy? Or what's up, Mermaid Queen? And she's like, Jay, hey, what you up to? I was designing like the face scroll logos and stuff. And so we're chatting and shit. And she goes, what time is your podcast anyways? I'm like, 11 a.m. Central. And she's like, where the fuck are you guys that you're Central time?
Geographically.
I'm like, well, we're in Iowa. And she's like, no shit. Where in Iowa are you? I was like, well, we're in shitty little Grinnell, Iowa. And she's like, no shit. You ever heard of Makokada? I'm like, yeah, I know Makokada. I went to camp there and stuff. She's like, that's where I'm at! I'm like, oh my god! We're island buddies! Mermaid Queen.
We're from the Midwest.
Like an hour and a half away.
It sucks here.
I don't fully agree.
I moved to California and I came back. It sucks here.
Here's my thing, right? So a little promo for something I was working on. My Faces of Grinnell project.
I actually need to talk to you about that because I think I found something.
Cool. Okay, let me tell you. So my last interview though, his name is Joshua Coburn.
I love that man.
Yeah, he's from Brooklyn, and so first of all he gave me his book and DVD. His DVD is really, really good. His story if you haven't seen it, it'll inspire the shit out of you.
I've seen him live. I have his DVD, and I'm working on acquiring all three.
His book, one of the books, he gave me his latest book, and it's called Shit That Needs to Be Said to Kick All the Ass.
I like this guy.
And you know what? The one conversation that I had with him was this idea. He goes, don't ever let anyone tell you that you can't live your dreams, whatever it be, in Iowa. He said, in small town Iowa, he goes, I'm from Brooklyn, small town. I always felt I fucking hate this place. This is a shitty town. He goes, I don't like it here. And he goes, and then I realized that those limitations that I had set were for me. And so this idea of, and he said like his three dreams were to write books, travel the world, change lives. And he does that centered out of Iowa. Now, granted, this guy's a fucking Instagram model. California sucks, Chris Battlegoose. I'm sorry, Chris Battlegoose.
I'm sorry you feel that way.
Drizzt is feeling salty, aren't you?
I lived in Northern California. It was lush and beautiful. Then my house burned down.
Is that what happened?
Yeah, my house literally burned to the ground. My entire life went up.
I'm so sorry to hear that. So Joshua Coburn's awesome. He's my next interview, but just the thing, like, he travels the world right now. He does do Instagram modeling. He's a motivational speaker. He is fucking crazy jacked. What's funny is you look at some of the photos though, they're from like down up, which will immediately make you look like a hulking monster. But like if you meet him face to face, he's like a couple inches shorter than me at least.
Yeah, he's not very tall.
He's not super tall, but he's like, oh, and he's got a mountain man beard. He's a beautiful man.
He's got the mountain man beard, the face tattoos, the rings in the back of his hands. They're fucking. He's rad.
Yeah. So one of the cool things is I actually got to talk to him about his tattoos. I was like, what do they mean? And like the three here mean something that I can't specifically remember right now, but it's very personal. It's very smart. So if you get a chance, guys, look up Joshua Coburn, especially on Instagram. That's kind of his home. He will stand out immediately if he's not covered in tattoos with a mountain man beard and muscles beyond your belief. You're not looking at the right guy.
Yeah.
However, I will say that his DVD cover, he looks like he looks like a Blink-182. Like, it looks like he's on Blink-182 or some shit like that.
He's about to break out all the small things.
Yeah, he looks like he's about to bust out all the small things. He's fucking but now he's like a different like a completely, and it's weird because the difference is his muscles and a beard.
He's gonna headbutt you so hard your skull shatters.
Yeah, and it's so funny because he's so inviting. Like, he wants to talk to people.
Honestly,
he wants to talk to people.
He actually works. He works out at the same gym my mom does.
Yeah, that's where my wife works. My wife knows your mom. Yeah. So she's like, so I had a conversation with him, but his book, Shit That Needs to Be Said to Kick All the Ass, it's interesting because it's not a narrative. It's not it's not cohesive specifically. It's a bunch of motivational quotes placed in a book format in a very artistic and beautiful fashion. Like, the book is more art than it is a narrative. Like,
sounds pretty cool.
It's fucking rad. Like, to look at the picture, it is artistic. Like, it is almost a graphic novel, but like motivational quotes.
It's really interesting.
And they're all things like, own up to your shit. I mean, that's his theme, is like, you have to be responsible for your happiness, for your, motivation. You are responsible.
Something that I try to do is admit my own ignorance.
Yeah,
I do that frequently because I'm well aware that I do not know fucking everything.
That's being humble, and that is actually one of the. I don't remember who the specific philosopher was, but he was a very smart man. He'd read a shit ton of books. This is years, thousands of years ago. And when asked, he got to the point where he'd read so much, he realized, he started rereading everything because he realized he didn't. Everyone's like, how do you know so much? And he's like, I don't know anything.
That was tough.
It was, okay.
The only thing I know is that I know nothing.
Yeah. Isn't that such a beautiful idea?
But
and
I'm here to learn.
That is something that I try and stick with every day, because your knowledge and your knowledge changes based on your perspective as well. So reading something when you're 20, you should totally read it when you're 25.
Oh yeah.
Because 5 years can make a hell of a load of difference. So,
but willy ignorance is one of the things that pisses me off the most.
Oh yeah, you know what? I actually finally
with concrete, actual fact and reason, and you just go, that's fucking bullshit.
Right? Well, so I was arguing with a guy on Facebook one day. I was alternative facts and bullshit, and finally he goes,
an alternative fact.
Finally, this guy just popped up at me, and he goes, you know what? Provide evidence. Back it up. And I just looked at the guy and said, you know what? Do it your fucking self. I said, I just Googled it and I found everything. Google it your goddamn self. Because the truth is if you're not willing to Google it and find out the information and face it and look it over and read it yourself, you're the one fucking robbing yourself. Yes, I'm so tired of this Facebook debate where everyone's like, you have to provide me the facts to prove me wrong.
Okay, so we're all educated here.
Yeah.
And a part of academic debate is if you put forth an idea, the burden of proof is then on you to prove your point. What someone says as the opposing view is literally pointless to what you are trying to put forward. For instance, just example. I'm going to use this as an example because this is what I'm used to debating on. Someone on the interwebs will message me and be like, there's a God. And I'll be like, prove it. And they're like, and I'll be like, that is not.
To me though, I'm to that point where so many people are full of shit and have not done their research. It's like, start doing research yourself.
It got to a point. I had to, one of my cousins, I'm not going to name because, public format, but one of them is like, they get up in arms about certain fucking issues. Like a year and a half ago, it was about like the abortion issue, and it was about public breastfeeding, and as of late, it was about anti-vax. And I believe I've said the sentence to you two before. I only get on Facebook to dunk nerds.
You've never told me that.
Well, I do. I only get on Facebook to dunk nerds. It's to show them that that's bullshit. Here's why. That's my catchphrase.
Okay.
I actually I took the time to explain why what she said was wrong, and then I posted fact sheets from the CDC and WHO, like hard evidence of why what she was saying was not correct. And she's like, "Well, I don't care.
Doesn't matter what you think.
Facts don't give a fuck how you feel. They are facts."
It's as bad as the people.
Drizzt, have you seen the episode of American Dad that was about if God was real? Don't know what episode off the top of my head.
I believe I have seen that, yes.
Our talk reminds me of people that still deny global warming, but like 98% of scientists are like, no, this is a thing, it's happening.
Because there's 2%. Yeah, they want to be the 2% that will fucking dare to argue.
The other 2% killed themselves because of the imminent danger.
Yeah. It's just this idea, like, people want to rebel. They want to, I don't know. Here's my problem with it. I've decided to just stop arguing on Facebook because it fills me with toxicity.
Just rage, dude. It's
toxic.
I can't argue on Facebook because I'm that person that I always have to have the last word in, so I will keep the argument going far longer than it needs to be.
Also,
I've just decided it's full of toxicity.
Fun anecdote about what I just told you. I tried for like actually a week, 2 weeks to just try to see if she could shift her perspective. Like, try to turn her worldview on some sort of paradigm. She weren't happy. So, eventually,
have it.
I'm an English major. I know what I'm doing.
She weren't going to have it.
Eventually, I was just like, you know what? Fuck it. I don't care. Prove it. You say you have evidence. You say you've done research. Show me what you've compiled. I will look it over. And if I believe you, I will personally proclaim in the middle of Grinnell, Central Park, screaming that vaccines are horrible poison and have done no good for the public. But if you can't, I will be on every single post of yours telling you why you're wrong, posting funny pictures because I think it's hilarious.
Yeah, it's an interesting concept. Wouldn't it be an interesting? Okay.
She then blocked.
What?
As they do when they can't.
Dunkin' nerds!
When they can't support their arguments.
Yeah. Well, so here's the thing.
Hit that ban hammer.
Right.
Here's the thing, though. Like, wouldn't it be an interesting idea if the world just, instead of arguing their point, would take an exercise in debating each other in opposite points? So say she flipped and
Both
then you flipped.
the devil.
Yeah. It's so much more educational to learn why you could be wrong than why you're right.
And I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I really like arguing.
This is why
I'm fairly good at it.
This is why I told this guy, fucking do the research yourself. Exactly. Because I'm tired of putting out research for people and then having them be like, fake news on a factual site. Okay,
there are sources at the bottom.
So let's
steer away from righteous political outrage.
Do we have anywhere to be today, guys?
I gotta go get V2. But other than that, I'm good. Like,
I just want to double
pick
check.
her up, take her to work, and totally come back.
Okay. I just want to double check because okay.
You work today, Jay?
I always work. Okay. So, News 1, Entertainment Weekly came out with a Captain Marvel.
Fuck yeah.
They did all the Captain Marvel pictures.
The costume looks cool as hell.
They revealed Marvel, who is going to be played by what's his name?
I read it and I forgot.
Sherlock Holmes, Watson, the movie. Hugh, no.
Which Sherlock Holmes was it? Was it
the Guy Ritchie? Yeah, RDJ Guy Ritchie.
Is it going to be the guy who played Watson?
Yeah.
That's Jude motherfucking Law.
Jude Law.
Yeah.
I don't know why it left me.
Wow. You don't know
Jude Law is going to be Marvel.
I fucking love Jude Law.
He's got some cruel intentions.
You're goddamn right.
They revealed pictures of the scroll. Yeah, scrolls are in there. They also they showed young Sam Jackson.
I didn't know they were gonna release so much, but like I was on Twitter and she like tweeted at Entertainment Tonight and she's like, I'm bored. Do you want to do a reveal tomorrow? And they're like, yeah, Brie Larson, cool. Let's put something together. And she was like, okay. And then they just fucking threw everything out.
Well, Entertainment Weekly does every new Marvel project now. Basically, they'll do a big reveal on it, and this is the one I think a lot of people have been waiting for, is to see some badass.
On the topic of movies, I'm in with the Human Miracle.
Yeah, the Human Miracle. Okay,
and we watched Life is Beautiful, and
I was just gonna talk to you about that today.
She told us about what you did. If you guys haven't seen the 1998 movie Life is Beautiful,
it'll fucking 1997,
it'll fucking wreck you, because
that is the saddest movie.
It will delight you and depress you at the same time.
I've ever seen. Like, that is, and like,
there's a part where the main character is.
You have to watch it with subtitles.
Yeah, you have to. It's not the same dubbed. But
oh god, Guido.
The main character, it's a Holocaust movie, so you can guess what happened.
Oh,
and this
you know what's happening. Like, you know it the whole fucking movie.
You know it's gonna happen.
It's just how they do it.
This motherfucker over here, he was watching it in a dark room, and then the thing happens, and all he does is go, Guido!
So I go home. And I pick up Medal of Honor Frontline, and I start fucking ramming Nazis.
I love that.
And I'm yelling, "For Guido! I will murder you!" I was so... I pretended every one of those little digital pixelated motherfuckers was the asshole that walked Guido around the corner. Because I didn't believe it either. When it happened...
It was the guy.
When it happened, I was like, okay, so something's gonna happen here. Like, they walked him around the corner. They didn't show it. There's no way. And at the end of the movie, you're like, no, this is gonna be an end credit scene, like a Marvel movie or something. And then at the end of the movie, you're like, and the little boy, no goddamn idea. He's running at the soldiers like, I did it, I won the game, I got my tank.
The tank guy is probably underappreciated character that's only there for 2 minutes. But it's this American tank guy. He opens the hatch, he goes, hey there, son. How you doing? The kid just blinks at him, he's like, you have no idea what I'm saying, do you? How about you get up here? Just happy as can be, motherfucker, from somewhere in the Midwest.
That movie,
it's gotta be from the Midwest.
Like, it hurts just remembering it. Oh god, I was gonna ask you actually today if you'd seen it yet, because I was like, she makes you watch that every. It's
sad. We're watching Get Out right now.
I love that movie.
I love that movie so much. I love that movie.
I was a troll though. The movies I put up there were Django, Unchained.
Django. Oh
yeah. Kill Bill Volume 3. My favorite Kill Bill.
As far as style goes, those are really good picks.
I haven't seen
Tarantino is a style beast.
Like, cinematically, they're fucking amazing.
Yeah.
And then I had Hush. If you haven't seen Hush,
it sounds familiar.
It's a horror movie about a death
I fucking love Hush.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay.
It was like The Quiet Place. It was like A Quiet Place before A Quiet Place.
Mm-hmm.
Let's make sure.
And then there was.
Yeah.
I put up Metropolis on the board. Have you ever seen Metropolis?
No.
It is a 3 hour and 12 minute silent movie.
I want to put up a movie. We should put up Hercules Goes to New York.
Shut up and tell us about this.
PS4 Last Remnant remake coming up. Yeah,
Squeenix.
So if you like Last Remnant,
if you love RPGs, support Squeenix.
Yeah. Daredevil teaser was released at the end of Iron Fist Season 2. Iron Fist Season 2 apparently got good reviews. They're saying that it's... The one review I read, though, was like, yep, still racist. Some guy was so fucking bitter about the fact that the white comic book character was still cast as white, and they're calling that whitewashing. Fuck you.
He's white.
He's a right. It's in the comics that he's a blonde white guy, and yes, the story itself is kind of whitewashing because he takes an actual ancient fictional ritual over.
Fictional.
And it's fictional, by the way. You don't fucking own. Like, you don't own Kung Lung. Sorry. That's not it's fucking fiction. But he's calling it still racist, and I think he was still bitter and butthurt about the fact that they didn't cast an Asian actor to play a blonde white guy!
The Defenders fucking approached that. Literally.
Well, and that was
Luke
great
Cage
because Luke Cage
called him out on
checked him on his fucking...
He's like, man, fuck you, and here's why. And Iron Fist,
checked him on his white privilege.
Iron Fist just over here like... You're totally right.
Yeah, okay. Have you guys seen the movie Tag? No, I really want to. That's the next on my list.
Fuck that movie.
Have you heard about that movie?
Yes, I have.
Do you know it's a real, like, it's an actual true story?
Care.
I'm 100% of the idea of guys who play Tag.
The only reason I will watch it is because Hannibal fucking Buress.
How about the fact that the guy from New Girl's in it? I can't remember the guy who plays Nick.
Don't care.
I don't remember his name.
Jeremy.
New Girl.
I didn't like New Girl. The guy who played Hawkeye is
New Girl.
Best.
Is amazing, and Jeremy Renner's a treasure.
New Girl goes downhill, but yeah, the first couple seasons
it comes back up.
Sure.
I loved. Look, he made the Bourne series interesting, and then they went back to just being Bourne again.
I actually hated his Bourne movie.
I loved that movie.
Bourne's one of my favorite action movies.
Also,
Bourne again. Jason Bourne finds Jesus.
What's his name? Shows in the Oscar Isaac shows up in that movie, and that was the first time I saw him, and I immediately knew that guy is very interesting. He fell out of a fucking tree. It was like,
do you guys know
this guy?
Hannibal Buress?
Yes, I know Hannibal Buress.
He's hilarious.
Yeah.
He is.
He's also in Spider-Man: Homecoming, which is probably the best.
Teacher.
Yeah, the best part. He's like, what? He goes, state law requires I show you this video. Pretty sure this guy's a known, like, wanted felon, but whatever. He's a war criminal now, but whatever. It's best scene.
His new stand-up special is hilarious.
You guys know he's on the Eric Andre show. He's the co-host. He just kind of sits there, though. That's what he does. But I've only seen Eric Andre break character one fuck.
Are you going to talk about the baby thing again?
The baby.
Yeah, we talked about the baby thing.
We talked about that already.
We talked about the
baby
thing.
I have a fucking shit memory, guys. I'm sorry.
That's fine. That's fine.
My brain,
that's what I'm here for.
I can remember a lot of, useless information, but, conversation bullshit.
Daredevil Season 3
Speaking
trailer.
of a lame teaser.
Well, it came out and it just says, the main quote from it is, I'd rather die as the devil than live as Matt Murdock, which is actually, you're the first person I've heard that doesn't like the teaser. Everyone else is like, I'm pumped for Daredevil! Woo!
I mean, I'm pumped for it because I love the show, but it was 30 seconds of him just saying, I'm no longer Matt Murdock, I'm the devil. And
but that's what sets the tone for Season 3. Because Season 1 and 2, he's like, he's dealing with duality, and now Season 3, he's like, you know what, fuck it, I'm all in, I'm Daredevil now. Matt Murdock's dead, bitches. And that's all I need. Oh, this is really upsetting. Doctor Who. So they talked to the showrunner Chris Chibnall, I think.
Yep,
Chibnall, not Chibnall.
Oh, God damn it, Jared.
Chibnall. He said that the next season is not going to have, for the rest of the show that he's doing, there's going to be no River Song, no Weeping Angels, and no Missy.
And he also said they're going to wait before they include Cybermen or Daleks.
Yeah, it's going to be a while.
So it's just going to be Monster of the Week episodes.
I don't know.
As far as I know, he's going to come up with new things for the Doctor.
Well,
I mean, I would like some Gallifreyan history if it wouldn't fucking trouble him too.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
I don't mind there being no well, I don't mind waiting on the Cybermen and the Daleks. Like, Daleks can get interesting, but they're still really fucking hard.
When I heard No Weeping Angels, though, I was like, that's what got me into Doctor Who.
That is what I was like,
Weeping Angel episode.
Fuck off. I was like, really? No Weeping Angels?
I don't know if there's an answer, but it's when Tennant dies.
Oh.
It's when David Tennant dies.
Fuck you.
And Gallifrey's coming back. Rassilon, going on his whole furious fucking deal. And he says he's the main goal, and then the Doctor's mother forward with hands of face. And then he tosses them back into the end of time.
Oh.
Perhaps they are the Weeping Angels, existing consistently throughout all of time and space, quantum locked. I've never gotten an answer. I've never found an answer.
That is fascinating.
It's just something I fucking noticed.
And apparently he's not going to talk about it at all.
Kind of like that Clara bullshit.
Don't you fucking get me started. Okay. Nate's pissed.
Nate's pissed.
Nate can't handle the fucking microphone. He's going round 2!
Yeah, I am.
Round 2 of the microphone!
I am going fucking rounds with this microphone. Anyway, so Clara, whatever. British. Anyway.
So good, and then got really bad.
I was perfectly fine with her character. Totally cool. She was there for a season and a half, and then she got scattered across the Doctor's timeline, where she should have stayed, and, subsequently continued living forever, and then died again, like she was supposed to. And then Moffat, and he decided, no, I'm not gonna kill this person. They're totally fine. 5 minutes later, fuck it, I don't care. He's gonna find the original. I don't fucking care. It's a phone box and it's a mistress. It's gonna be fucking great. Everyone's gonna love it. Nobody loved it. Everyone fucking hated it.
She was back for reasons.
And then there that one time, you guys, you remember that one time when she died, and then 100% 2000, she was back literally less than 2 minutes later.
Okay, well, so that was, she actually left she decided she was going to leave the show, and then she was like, you know what, I'm just going to do one more season at the very end, and then retconned it. That was them retconning because she couldn't make up her fucking mind.
They retconned the fuck out of it. I was pissed.
That was the actress.
Angry. I was screaming at the television.
Because, well, so here's the problem with that episode. It was amazing until the point that she came back. Because here's the deal. That is when they killed off the Danny clone. What's his name? What was his name? Her boyfriend in that season. Remember. They fucking killed him. And I'm not kidding. When they killed him, my buddy and I stopped and looked at each other and were like, is he dead? Did they just kill him? Yeah, they murdered him. He's dead as shit, dude. He's straight up, and it was just hit by a car.
Dude, that's sometimes what it was. People fucking die.
And that was the best, because Doctor Who, how many ways have people died in horrible, awful ways? And this time it was just boom, hit by a car.
Why do you think the Doctor is so angry all the time?
So it is like one of those things is like just absolutely.
I haven't seen any of the new Who. I haven't seen any of the female Doctor.
Season it's not out yet. She's not out yet.
Oh, she's not out yet.
Have you watched season 11?
She's out in October, I believe.
The most recent season the last season with Capaldi?
I think the last season I saw was the one with the bullshit emoji robots.
That's season 11.
Did you? Yeah,
that was the last episode I saw. That or the one with the weird, creepy chick that refused to,
Oh, the wood chick?
No, the one in the water.
Oh, yeah.
That one.
Oh, the way that ties back around in the end is just beautiful.
Also, I'm alright with Bill. I like Bill as a companion.
Yeah, you need to finish that season. That season's got some really good ups and downs.
I hated Capaldi's first season and how he was the Doctor and how they wrote all that stupid shit like, oh look, I have Sonic sunglasses now and I have a guitar. I hated all that stupid shit and I hated Capaldi, but I'm actually watching season 11 because I haven't seen it and I really like Capaldi in season 11.
I don't know, I like him. It's like, look, got a new face. New eyebrows. Look at these eyebrows. They're permanently crossed, these eyebrows. They look like they're gonna secede from my face and start their own cross nation.
First guy they let hang on to a Scottish accent. Tennant really tried. He did, and they said no.
David Tennant is so ridiculously Scottish. His real name is David MacDonald, and it is crazy.
Guy Ritchie is gonna do. So this is a rumor. Guy Ritchie's gonna do a Captain Marvel and the Black Knight movie. So Captain Marvel is a famous British Marvel comic hero. The Black Knight is also famous Marvel comic hero, not quite as like Captain America famous, but they're still really famous. Guy Ritchie responsible for the Sherlock movies with RDJ. He also did.
Which RDJ wants to do now?
Yeah, well, they're working on 3. It's slated for 2020.
If Stephen goddamn Fry isn't in the third one, I won't go see it.
Guy Ritchie is also responsible for Rock and Rolla and Snatch, 2 really, really good movies. Also, the most recent King Arthur movie, which
I like.
I never watched it. I've heard from those who have seen it. I've heard it's good.
Okay, so I have seen it. I just don't remember one fucking lick of it.
Decent. It's not amazing.
That's the problem with Guy Ritchie lately. Is like his movies are usually so iconically like you see you can remember images and scenes.
I'm gonna be totally honest. I sat through the whole thing. I stared at the screen the whole time. I do not remember it, and that's because I was in an altered state of mind.
So the coolest thing though is he's in charge of Aladdin right now. He's the one directing Aladdin.
Oh right, they're doing a live action Aladdin, aren't they?
Yeah, and Will Smith is the genie. So it's interesting actually to see them playing this out. Well, okay.
I actually like the sound of that.
Yeah, so I was gonna say if anyone's gonna replace Robin Williams, they're gonna have to.
Smith.
They've confirmed this one will have music, unlike Mulan is unconfirmed whether they'll have music in it or not.
Yeah. Fucking Shang isn't gonna be in the live action Mulan, and I'm angry because bisexual icon, bro.
Oh yeah,
he fell in love with a man.
Yeah.
I forgot
what he thought was a man and then woman.
So, anyways. To keep moving forward in this discussion, it's interesting though because Guy Ritchie is doing Aladdin, and then if you look at and so it's possible that he's going to be crossing over to Marvel territory, which means Marvel is still doing a good job of filling their directors, even though they fucked James Gunn.
Didn't he get like in trouble for some shitty things he said on Twitter?
Yeah, he said some really shitty things on Twitter way before he ever directed a Marvel movie.
He was just trying to get attention, Disney, and that's literally what he said.
He was just a dumbass kid. He basically said, "Hey, I'm sorry, I was a dumbass kid."
He was dumb and wanted attention.
I was being a dumbass.
So it's nice to see they're actually still able to kind of fill and slate their Marvel bookings, even though they're
I don't know, dude. I thought
waffles.
Guardians of the Galaxy 2 was really fucking weak.
It was. I thought it was as good as the last one. That's what I thought.
The tape scene gave me a fucking migraine. I am not kidding. It actually gave me a headache.
I still love that scene.
It gave me a headache.
I thought it was enjoyable. The only problem is they put it in the trailer. That was the biggest upsetting part.
A lot of the comedy in the second one felt really fucking shoehorned. Like they were trying too fucking hard.
Yeah.
Here's the problem, and here's the challenge with a sequel. With the magic of the first one, you have to deliver the same shit in the sequel that everyone expects, but at the same time, the reason why it seems shoehorned is because the first one, the first time you saw it, it was fresh. The second one, it's the same shit over again. They're trying to deliver a consistent product, not brand new, fresh quantity. You know?
What about the whole I don't steer the arrow with my head? Bullshit.
Steer with your heart, boy.
It's the fucking heart. Oh wow, who'd have fucking thought? Deus Ex motherfucking Machina. He's got to have the heart of a hero. Holy shit, he's God now. Whoop-de-fucking-do. I don't care. KYS.
That's just basically the ending. You have to. I don't understand. It's like it's comic book.
It's fucking.
That's classic comic book.
Why can't the good guys
anime type stuff?
Why can't the good guys die and the bad guy wins?
Because then you're not gonna have Guardians of the Galaxy 3 or Avengers Infinity War. By the way.
Infinity War.
You're
the good guys die and the bad guys win.
Avengers Infinity War.
I'm happy about it.
Time and the place, man. Time and place.
We should have named
Guardians of the Galaxy 2 is not.
We should have named today's podcast Drizzt Soapbox.
We might as well fucking
Drizzt is fucking
we're not talking about the goddamn Castle Rock finale, which is what I named it after. I gotta stop naming shit because every time I do, it just doesn't pan out. Did you see Deadpool? Nope.
I swear I'll watch Castle Rock today.
I will be watching Deadpool in my films class, so we can talk about that eventually.
I love that movie.
Move back over to the Guy Ritchie discussion, the thing that I was trying to cover.
I didn't mean to go on
this idea.
We all digress.
It's interesting to see because Guy Ritchie is now doing sort of one of their Disney live action remakes, and now he's getting pushed into the Marvel universe. And then the guy who's actually doing the best job spearheading and actually branched this whole idea of live action remakes with The Jungle Book is Jon Favreau, who started the Marvel universe with Iron Man. So it's a really interesting dichotomy.
Cyclical.
That they're doing that, and they're kind of balancing it out, but it's showing that like they're using a good breeding ground for talented directors.
I can't wait for his Lion King movie.
I know. I have not talked about the cast
really
on this podcast, but the cast of the Lion King movie is fucking phenomenal. Do you know who they cast so far?
Ooh.
So, young Simba, Donald Glover.
Love it.
Okay, guess who's playing Mufasa again? James Earl motherfucking Jones. They were just like, let's just do James Earl Jones again.
I mean, he was amazing as Mufasa.
Timon and Pumbaa, Billy Eichner from Billy on the Street. And Pumbaa is going to be fucking Seth Rogen, which...
Yes!
Duh!
You got it.
That's all. When I read that, I was like, duh.
He's gonna ham it up.
That is A+ casting.
Zazu is going to be John Oliver. So the original Zazu was actually Mr. Bean.
Fucking love John Oliver.
Right?
Good job there. And
that is the way the delivery they have for... I watched John Oliver last week. Every Sunday.
I love this show.
And I think he would be perfect for it.
The only casting that I'm still shaky on... so did you see Doctor Strange?
Yes.
The guy who played Baron Mordo. The main...
is he Scar?
Yeah, he's going to be Scar. And I'm like, he's got the toughest act to follow.
Because that is...
Jeremy Irons was
Scar. Beyond iconic. It was as iconic as fucking James Earl Jones as Mufasa.
You know who I think could do really good as Scar?
Who?
Idris Elba.
Yeah, but he just did Shere Khan, which I feel like they blew their load on that one.
He was amazing.
I think if they had him play Scar as opposed to Shere Khan, that would have been a better idea.
I was surprised how good that movie was because, like,
I was like, a good movie.
I'm a little nervous, and then I saw it in theater, and it was amazing.
Disney's killing it with their live action game and their Marvel game. Like, they're really
okay with the live action Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah, I like it.
I had one complaint, and it's a shitty, stupid one, but I have one complaint. The Beast was not beastly enough.
Right?
Yeah.
He was too human already. You know?
Yeah.
He was supposed to be like an anthropomorphic fucking chimera.
He looked, and I know it's hard to portray that in the anime run, but the Beast is supposed to look like super gross and like
he's supposed
disgusting.
To like he's hunched over. He's a chimera that walks on his hind legs because he's used to it.
And when I watched the live action one, he looks beautiful as a beast.
Can we talk about the first frame when you see Prince Adam again and he's just got a busted ass face? It's just like,
are you talking about the live action?
No, I'm talking about the classic
movie. Okay,
like his nose is this way.
Yeah,
like you can tell they were trying to play with the lighting, but one of the artists forgot to put on a layer of shading, and it's just.
Yeah, it looks fucked as hell.
Also, Josh Gad is LeFou.
How about Dan Stevens as
amazing.
Dan Stevens is the Beast.
I fucking love Dan Stevens.
Dan Stevens is really good.
Who was the guy?
Have you seen Legion?
Yeah.
Dan Stevens.
Okay, I was gonna say, did you watch season 2?
I have not.
Season 2 is fucking weird.
I've seen 3 episodes. I'm confused.
Season 1 was like cool. Season 2 made me uncomfortable. The fucking women with the mustache and the bowl cuts.
The guy
the robot voices.
I'm about to start episode 4. The thing I hate about season 2 is it's so confusing.
Isn't it the deal with like, the guy, the leader of like the main protag in Legion can't speak or something? He just doesn't. Like if he talks, he'll shatter worlds and shit.
No, you're talking about Inhumans.
Oh, I'm thinking. Okay, I got some wires crossed there. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Legion is Professor Xavier's son.
Okay, yeah.
It's beautiful.
And he's like
Dan Stevens plays. Yeah,
it's like weird. Oh God, no. Oh no.
It's got Aubrey Plaza, and I love Aubrey Plaza.
Yeah, she's great.
It's got one of the weird, like, so season 2 kicks off, and like they have these women with mustaches.
Yeah, I've seen the trailer.
And robot voices, and I'm like, my stomach hurts.
It's like, the stuff of nightmares.
Yeah. But there's really cool cutscenes with John Hamm narrating and talking about philosophy and the mental condition. It's beautiful. Okay, moving on.
I just checked
We got a lot to get through, actually.
To see what condition my condition is.
John Legend got an EGOT.
Yeah.
So whenever you get an EGOT, that means you have an Emmy, a Grammy, an Oscar, and a Tony.
Wow.
He is the first African-American man to get an EGOT. So, Jesus Christ Superstar over here. That's him actually in Jesus Christ Superstar. I watched that. That was fucking weird.
Yeah.
I gotta like look up Hamlet because Laura recommended
David Tennant Hamlet?
No, just Hamilton. Sorry.
Oh, Hamilton. Okay. David Tennant did a Hamlet.
It was coming to Iowa.
Yeah, he's classically trained.
He's real good.
He's a Shakespearean actor.
Yeah, he's real
not
good
very
as
many
Hamlet.
people know that.
Yeah.
I have seen his To Be or Not to Be soliloquy, and my God.
On the same note of John Legend getting an EGOT, the Emmys were this weekend, and Rick and Morty won an Emmy for what was it? Let's see here. Guy Ritchie, John Legend. Rick and Morty won an Emmy for Outstanding Animated Program for their Pickle Rick episode. Pickle Rick got them a fucking Emmy.
Am I the only one that thinks that show's overrated?
Yes.
I enjoy Rick and Morty.
It's just okay.
Yeah, you're the only one.
It's just okay for me.
Like
it's just an average animated show.
I understand where you are because overhype. I get that. I personally.
How about How about the episode where it's just the planet of Ricks and Mortys? Like when they're
that's pretty solid.
That is one of the coolest fucking things ever. Then you have episodes like Pickle Rick. Then you have episodes with like the first episode with Evil Morty blew my goddamn mind as soon as he like pulled off the eye patch and like stuffed the thing.
There's
in his
some
eye.
serious storytelling going on underneath all of the weird, stupid bullshit that's happening.
Yeah,
things are going to like. That's how it is. It's all whimsical and stupid, and then they just kick it into fifth.
It's really just a look inside of Dan Harmon's really fucking crazy mind.
And then there's Justin Roiland being a fucking loon.
Yeah, he's being Justin Roiland.
Overhype did ruin the show for me because everyone and their mother was like, "This is the greatest animated show you'll ever watch." Too bad,
Tommy. Here's the thing.
And then I watched it.
My thought.
Here's
my thought. Fuck overhype. Make your own opinion. I'm sorry, but don't let like, overhype kill you.
I watched it.
Kill things for you.
For me personally, it's just a good show. That's all.
Yeah, it's good.
I personally one of my favorites.
It has some sentiment for me.
Yeah,
because when I first got back from California, me and my buddy Sean, we'd just hang out for hours and watch Rick and Morty and just spend time
in the first season, the first season starts off all right, but after that they really start to develop. And again, that's kind of how shows work like that.
There's a lot of sad. There's some sad shit like in the middle of season 1. Rick actually, you get to see one of his suicide attempts. He is going to fucking kill himself.
Is that season 1?
It's either season 1 or early season 2.
I feel like it's season 2 because that's when he visits the clone planet.
Puts up the thing and then it zaps it.
I really love that. I love that episode in season 1 where Rick takes Morty's parents to the freaking space marriage counselor, and then at the end of the episode, he's like, "How fucked up are you guys?
They're nuts, man." Captain Planet. They're making a Captain Planet movie. And
fuck yeah!
Their rumor is that it's going to be a dark-toned movie.
For the love of God, yes!
I don't know. I don't know how to feel about a dark. Here's my thought. Don fucking Cheadle.
The only thing that's a little ridiculous about Captain Planet is his only weakness is the thing he's made to fight against. I rewatched a couple episodes of the show because I was bored, and his weakness is pollution.
My only weakness. How did you know?
Small knives.
On the same note, they're doing a Swamp Thing series on the DC streaming network, and they're saying that the tone for that is going to be dark. It's going to be rated mature.
No shit, it's Swamp Thing.
Well, it's more of an assurance that, like, hey, we're not going to fuck this up.
Are they going to make him not a boring character?
What?
I don't know. Make Swamp Thing exciting?
I have no idea. I don't know. You have to watch it.
You fucking what, mate? I fucking love Swamp Thing.
Timothy Dalton's going to be on Doom Patrol.
Yeah,
that's his name.
They're casting Doom Patrol really, really well so far. Timothy Dalton.
Yeah, he was fucking Rassilon.
He was James fucking Bond for a while.
Yeah, he was.
Maybe actually only one movie. I can't remember. I feel like he had the shortest
my favorite
stint.
Bond is personally.
Who?
Pierce Brosnan.
Right?
Pierce fucking Brosnan.
So if you talk about the idea of like this person was my doctor, you know, like people have like usually their first introduction to a doctor was their first doctor. So a lot of people, their doctor is David Tennant.
Fuck yeah.
Personally, though,
Eccleston cock bites.
Personally, though, my doctor, like, Eccleston was the first one I watched. I fell in love with David Tennant. I still love Matt Smith the most. I don't know why.
That gangly human giraffe.
Yeah. I think it's
big, long ass neck.
Some of the episodes that a lot of people hate are the episodes that I like the most. They call them, like, Jump the Shark episodes, which, by the way, Doctor Who jumps the shark. Dinosaurs on a Spaceship, I fucking love.
Fuck you guys.
Because I enjoy it as much as the Doctor's enjoying it. Like,
it's dinosaurs
on a spaceship! So honestly, but Pierce Brosnan is my Bond, because that is the first Bond that I ever saw.
He's my favorite Bond. I don't love all his Bond movies.
Speaking of, I don't know if we talked about it, but Danny Boyle, yeah, we talked about it last week. Danny Boyle left Bond, so now Bond is like, the next Bond is like in...
Where's my slide whistle?
They're talking about making a Legend of Zelda theme park at Universal. I will go.
I will too. I'm going to Universal soon.
For
Christmas.
This is actually really sad, so we're gonna get on a sad topic now. Andre Blay, the creator of video rental services, what he did is he actually started contacting companies years ago and getting movies on tapes. He died. He was 81. He is the guy that we are thankful for all video rental services. But just a quick shout out. Rest in peace, buddy. Thank you for everything you've done. It's also part of what gave birth to sci-fi and horror, because those were the films. I hope he's not into DVR. I bet that would be his hell. He's like, fuck DVR. That ruined Blockbuster.
He ruined my business.
Yeah,
you cock ass.
You ruined video.
And then one more sad story. So I don't know if you heard.
I heard this. It's hilarious.
I don't know if you heard this. This is really sad. So this is kind of sad news for this guy. But in Spider-Man, this guy, he proposed. He asked Insomniac to put a proposal in to his girlfriend.
And they did.
And so they put it in there, and then people contacted him. He's actually a streamer / like blogger and stuff. They contacted him and said, "Hey, how'd it work out?" She left him for his brother.
Stupid douche.
So real shitty, kind of sad.
That's fucking funny.
But it's forever in the Spider-Man game.
There's an ending to that story. Insomniac offered in the next update to take it down if he wanted them to.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
How is that?
They should never take that down. Then? Yeah, that's in the game.
How is it?
I have not played it, but it's made me cry already.
They said it's great.
Does it look like... Because I saw the E3 trailer,
it looks beautiful.
And it looks like Batman. Like Batman games.
I have heard that it's very much like
the combat
system for Batman.
The combat is Arkham 2.0 apparently.
Yeah.
And
it's better.
I've only seen one scene from the game, and I watched Stan Lee's cameo, and it made me cry.
I've heard great reviews. People are having fun. Bob Wolf actually did a whole video talking about like indies and shit. And the way that he kind of ended it was this idea that like he's like I love indies, and he's talking about, does the Switch have too many indies? And what he compared it to, he's like, your home console is for all these really great big AAA games. And he goes, don't get me wrong, I liked Batman. I liked Assassin's Creed. I liked Spider-Man. They're all the same fucking game. That's what he said. So, I mean, some people are a little jaded by the fact that the combat system is similar. It's it's a thing.
I want to, watch videos on it so bad, but I'm trying not to spoil the game.
I can't. I'm not gonna have a PS4 for fucking years unless someone drops in here and drops $500 on my fucking. It's not gonna happen. So, yeah. So if you guys, I think that's
$2.99.
I think that's it. Yeah, that was it.
What else do we have on the itinerary, Jay?
Well, we were gonna talk about Frats of fucking Rock, but now we're not.
Oh well.
So, anyways. So let's see. I talked about Mermaid.
Yep.
Talked about the news this week. Talked a little bit about Fratzel Rock. I will say, the ending leaves me conflicted, but I think I'm good.
You think you're good?
You guys got to tell me though what you think of the ending.
It's Stephen King, so it's either going to confuse you or make you angry.
Yeah, and I figured that's what I figured. I was like, this is very Stephen King, isn't it?
When I read that book, made me angry.
Yeah.
Oh, one of the other news articles that they had was the idea that the ending is they're going to keep something crazy and horrible from It Chapter 2 in the new It movie coming out.
Keep something crazy.
Yeah, there's something like
out of it.
No, in it. There's something that they said, like, one of the most controversial scenes. Not the scene, because they're already past that point, because there was a scene where, like, I guess in the first movie, there's a scene in the book where, like, in order for all the kids to be able to grow up and move on past this, they have an orgy.
Oh, you're talking about the sewer gang?
Yeah, they don't want to die virgins. So.
I don't think it's that scene, but there's a.
Well, thank God they took that scene out.
Yeah.
When I read it in the book, I was a little creeped out.
Yeah, everyone. I think even Stephen King came back to it and was like, I kind of regret that. Like,
I was reading it and I was like, is this fucking happening right now? Like, what?
Yeah.
What?
But it's sort of
such a good book though.
It leaves you with less answers, but I think the cool thing is I think it does leave you open for a season 2. I'm really hoping actually that the season 2, because there's a couple ways it could go, but my take on where it could go and my hope is that season 2 is going to be around Jackie. I want to know more about Jackie. In fact, I think overall, looking over the season, the one unsung hero, the underutilized character, Jackie. She's very interesting.
She's
and
almost always there.
Yeah, but she almost never really has any purpose.
You get to see her smoke pot with Bill Skarsgård.
Yeah, that was like actually really cool when she did that.
Dude, I'd love to smoke pot with Bill Skarsgård.
So, but I mean, I just think she's underutilized, and they do kind of leave it open to have her own story arc. So I'm hoping that's what they do, or they might go another way, which I would understand because it would be consistent.
Also, are you a fan of the Skarsgårds?
They're all right. I mean,
they're an acting family, dude.
Yeah, I know. Seeing the Henry Deaver episode and watching him play a person was really interesting because
he's been the walking calamity the whole time.
He's either the walking calamity or he's fucking it.
He's the walking calamity or he's creepy parable spitting weirdo.
I was gonna ask.
I love the fact that he likes being creepy to his brothers and just freaking them out. Right.
Well, he's got the weirdest eyes. Like the weirdest eyes.
I thought him and the guy from Mr. Robot were the same person for a while.
Rami Malek.
Yeah,
I love Rami Malek.
They look similar from like here up.
He's doing the Queen biopic.
Yeah, he's biopic, and he's Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah, it's gonna be beautiful. I love that. The one thing that makes everyone laugh every time they see the trailer is the guy's just like. Like 6 minutes is so long, and he goes, I feel sorry for your wife if you think 6 minutes is a long time.
Then there's I think my favorite part is when they're recording and then they're like, what next? And then Freddie just leans forward with his feet off the desk and goes, this is where the operatic section comes in.
Yeah. It's gonna be such a cool movie.
I
can't wait.
Dude, my wallpaper.
I think it comes out in a couple of weeks.
The wallpaper on my cell phone is Freddie Mercury holding his 2 cats. I fucking love Queen.
Right. Queen is fantastic. We went to Platteville a couple of weekends ago, and we actually drove to Platteville, and I have a 3 CD collection of Queen, like the best of hits, and that's what we pumped the entire way. It was a 3 hour drive.
That reminds me, I need to buy the Queen 3-disc set for Rush Chronicles.
I guess I could ask you guys, like, have you guys watched anything or done anything fun in the past couple of weeks?
I have.
I saw Life is Beautiful, and it made me sad.
If you have HBO,
that movie.
I watched a show called Sharp Objects.
Oh,
with Amy Adams. It was fantastic. I'm not gonna spoil the show, but she plays a writer. No, she's a journalist, pretty much. She's a newspaper journalist, and when she's a kid, her sister dies, and so she spirals into depression. She starts cutting herself. She starts drinking heavily.
Okay,
and so the start of the show is her, and she's damaged. Almost beyond repair, you think. She drinks and cuts, and her editor thinks it's a good thing to go back to her hometown because 2 people were recently killed, And so he's like, I want you to go
where the murders are.
go back to your hometown to investigate these. Really, he doesn't care about the murders at all. He thinks she needs to go back home and like sort stuff out
for closure.
And then it's an 8-episode show, so you can like binge it.
Oh, okay.
And it's all about her investigating the murders, and it's got a twist ending that when I watched it, I was like, what the fuck? And for a first in a show, it has like 3 post-credit scenes here in the credits.
Oh.
I've never had that on a show. And I was confused as fuck about the ending for a minute, and then someone's like, did you watch the credits? And I was like, what? And they're like, yeah, there's like 3 scenes in the credits that explain everything. I was like, what? But yeah, it's an HBO show. I think it's Amy Adams' best work. It's like career defining. She's fantastic.
AJ, what was that mockumentary you were telling us about?
American Vandal.
Yeah,
season 2 comes out.
We were Laura was talking
Friday
about it. She brought up mockumentaries. So I raised my hand and said, "You mean like Spinal Tap?"
Yeah.
And she responded with something that made me super sad, which was,
"You're the only fairly certain
you're the only person other than me in this room that knows what Spinal Tap is." So I had to go with Dicks on Cars, and I was like, "Oh, okay."
Hey, you know what? American Vandal's really good.
Laura loves American Vandal.
So here's what I love about American Vandal is at the end of the season, it really hits you hard. Like, so you have this kid who's making this film that ends up ruining a lot of people's lives, and a lot of people call him out on it. So this kid who basically saved another guy from having to be being expelled from school, wrongfully at least, because this guy's an asshat. He hurt a lot of people on the way, and they call him out on it. But then at the end, the guy like spirals, and you get to see that, and you just see like sort of how people are dealing with self-worth, and it's really interesting. It's this show that's hilarious, but it has so many layers to it if you really look it over. But season 2 is out on Friday. The thing that really bums me the fuck out is there's no Dylan in season 2, who's the asshat. Or as far as I can tell, my hope is that they kind of Ghostbusters him a little, like they just bring him along.
He just kicks the door and like, what's up, fuckers?
Yeah, he becomes like a part of the team that investigates, because he's such a dipshit, but I don't want to let him go. Like I don't want to let this guy go. He's so funny.
He is stupid, and I love him.
Yeah, well, you just love his, like, he's adorably dumb. Like, it's just, I like when they talk about what a bitch move is. They talk about what a bitch move is, and he describes it. It's amazing.
You guys know what the phrase "bless his heart" means in the South?
Yeah.
Poor stupid fucker. Yeah. Look at him go.
So I caught up on Castle Rock, and then I caught up on Venture Brothers the other day. And Venture Brothers is doing some really cool shit. So season 7 starts with a 3-episode arc that addresses actually the fathers. So the Monarch's dad and Venture, like Papa Venture, they actually come back.
Do we get like some context, or just what's happened?
You find out that they're still pseudo alive, both of them.
Kind of.
So the Monarch's dad actually got turned into a robot.
Okay.
So Dr. Venture remade him into a robot, and like he turns out like he was a villain that Brock like murdered, and he didn't get like totally murdered. He sort of like his reprogram booted up, and he realized kind of who he was. And so this whole idea, so season 6 was talking about this character, the Blue Morpho, who's essentially the Green Hornet, but you find out like it's the Monarch's dad is the Blue Morpho. So he comes back in his robot shit as the Blue Morpho, trying to fucking Blue Morpho shit. And while the Monarch's posing as the Blue Morpho and about to get murdered because he's been like, he becomes a walking calamity almost as well. Everyone thinks that he's brutally murdering these villains. It's either like something he accidentally did, but turned out to be totally fucking rad when it happened. Like he's like, awesome!
Totally didn't mean to do that.
Or 24 just comes in and 24s everyone around. Like he kicks ass.
That worked out well.
So, and then you find out that I don't know if you guys remember in season 1 on the spaceship, but there's a point where the Venture Brothers, like, they're looking at this robot thing, and it's just blinking, and like, and Brock Samson's like, yes, I like those villains. Yes, killed those villains. What?
Yeah, he killed them. They're dead.
Who? What
do you mean, who? He.
Anyways, okay. Anyways, there's a point where they're looking at the robot and the light's blinking, and they're like, Brock's like, is it on or off? And they're like, the light's off. No, it's on. No, it's off. No, it's on. So that pays off fucking so many odd years later. You find out that like that robot has Dr. Venture's head in it. Oh. And he's been fucking like just eating creatures as they walk by for energy to stay alive, like to keep the power. And then he takes over. They end up moving that into the whole Venture Tower thing, and it takes over the whole complex. And they think it's a ghost, and it turns out to be his robotic head taking over the building. Venture. So it's really interesting. And then those two meet and collide, and then you find out some cool secrets and shit. But it was like a 3-episode arc, and it was just really, really well done. And then this last episode is really great because they're walking through the Guild of Calamitous Intent building, and they're like going from room to room. And there's like one point where they're like, yeah, this is the room where we do plastic surgery to implant agents in different places. And they take the rag off this guy's head, and he's Dave Grohl, and he's like, did you turn someone into Dave Grohl? And he's like, no one says no to Dave Grohl. That was the end of that segment, but that was true. Really fucking funny.
Dude, Dave Grohl kicks ass. I fucking love Dave Grohl.
Right? That's why he's a perfect evil agent.
Feels good, Toby.
So if you haven't seen,
we're in sync right there.
If you haven't seen Venture Brothers,
I have approximate knowledge of Venture Brothers. I actually started. I started something recently because I hate myself.
Okay.
I'm rereading Homestuck.
Okay.
Do either of you know what Homestuck is?
What's Homestuck?
Oh, this is gonna be a long podcast.
What's Homestuck?
You guys got like 6 hours?
No, just sum it.
Give us the cliff notes.
Fuck me, that's gonna take a while.
What do you got?
Well, it's 8,041 pages long. Okay. The cliff notes are gonna be fucking long too.
What's the basic?
All right, fine. I'll broad stroke it. The shortest, like least informative thing I could tell you about this is 4 friends play a video game that ends the world.
That's dope. So it's kind of like when I break down Dark Tower, I'm like, it's a cowboy chasing a wizard across the desert.
A cowboy chasing a wizard across about a quarter mile of desert to a big tower. The end.
Exciting.
I just say the desert because at the end,
the tower's not even
I've never actually read this.
Oh, it's cyclical. They're chasing something that isn't there.
Yeah, he's just a cowboy chasing the wizard across the desert.
They're just chasing each other. Is it hell? Probably.
9 books. Could be. Well,
anyway.
You know what's interesting is they were actually talking about so that scene in Henry Deaver where they go into that alternate dimension kind of in between. Apparently that's from the Dark Tower. They call those thinnies or tinnies. They're like pocket dimensions that go
kind of like from the Tommyknockers.
Yeah. So it was really interesting that they are actually addressing that and like bringing it. I mean, it's bringing more Stephen King shit in there.
I'm gonna like crunch some numbers here. I'm not fucking with you. I'm actually pulling up my calculator.
Yeah, what are you calculating?
The number of relevant characters in Homestuck.
Oh, okay. So I did that, and then I've been playing Grand Theft Auto 5 for a while. I'm loving it every day. I'm working my way through the story. The only thing, so I did get to the torture scene, and that kind of shook me a little. Like, that made me feel real fucking ucky. So there's an interesting thing because the torture scene has an anti-torture message at the end of it. However, I think the idea of doing the torture kind of ruins the message, in my personal opinion. Like, yeah, it's good. It's just there's a few things that you do in there that make you feel real yucky. Torturing someone, especially when the guy's like, I'm wanting to talk, like I'm trying to talk, and they're torturing him. Like, it's rough. However, it's still a really good game. Lots of cool shit you can do.
So there are 80 relevant characters in Homestuck.
Okay.
80.
Wow. Relevant characters.
Yeah.
I wonder how many irrelevant. Don't calculate that.
Well, I know for sure there are at least 16 irrelevant characters. They're called the Felt.
Oh,
and
okay.
They're leprechauns. And they all have time travel powers.
Leprechauns.
They're also they all have like different numbers for pool balls. Because pool tables have felt tops. I don't know. But
sounds like a forced reference.
It is.
Yeah.
That's a lot of Hussey's work. That's his name, Andrew Hussey. That's the writer.
okay.
I'm not calling him a hussy. That's his real last name.
I thought you were making references about bitches and hoes. I was like,
no,
whoa, buddy.
No, that's his name is Hussey.
Whoa.
And he's also weirdly obsessed with horses. Anyway. Oh, sorry, 81 if you count Hussey. He's a relevant character in the comic too. But so they're the Felt, and there are 16, technically 17 of them, because you've got all of the stupid ones that I can remember by name but won't.
Sneezy, Sleepy, Dopey.
Well, I mean, you got Crowbar, you got Eggs, Biscuit, Clover.
Nowhere near as consistent as the dwarves.
Not even a little bit.
My name's Eggs!
Eggs is fucking stupid. All he has is an egg timer, and it doesn't even travel through time.
I'm so pissed that you didn't watch the Fratzel Rock episode. I'm sorry.
And then their leader, her name is Snowman, because she's the 8-ball.
Oh, okay.
Her name is Snowman, and she happens to be what is called an exile from Skya.
Okay.
Or more so Durst, which is one of the moons orbiting Skya. And in each session of the game, there are exiles of royalty from the previous monarchy that is toppled by the players. It's really interesting.
This is very interesting.
It's very. I could do an entire.
It's way better than Ready Player One.
Yes.
Okay.
Hands down, because a lot of it is told in chat logs.
Oh.
It is a literal book that you read on your computer. It just so happens to have like GIFs and panels drawn above it.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It is a webcomic in the loosest sense of the word, because it also happens to be a novel, video game, movie, and work of art all at once.
Okay. It's a video game
yes,
also?
There are 8-bit flash animation video games in this webcomic.
Oh, okay. This is interesting.
Yeah.
We're going to have to
there's a part of it that's done completely in vines. You know, like the like Vines. There's a part of it that's done in shitty claymation in Vines. There's
sorry.
Like there are a lot of impressive fucking panels from Homestuck. I saved a couple of my favorite onto my cellular device. Like this one.
So that's the thing. Okay, so I never got to talk about. I forgot to.
Anyways, before I take the next 6 hours rambling about Homestuck, Jay, please take the floor, please.
I forgot to talk about. Speaking of Vine, so we did the shout out to Harris Heller last week. I clipped that. I've been clipping parts.
I noticed
and throwing them out on Twitter. Anyways, I clipped that, and then I tagged Harris Heller in it, and he replied. He goes, "Just so you know, this is going to be in the next." Stream Doctor video, and so he has not come out with it yet, and I'm going fucking crazy.
Jay's just over here losing his mind.
I've been checking his YouTube consistently. I don't think it's gonna pop up for a while, actually. So
still though, that's a rad shout out.
Yeah, so I popped up on his Twitch and I was like, "Hey, how's it going?" And so he was talking about randomly on the Twitch that his next Stream Doctor video is gonna be talking about collaboration. So I think we're kind of an example of that, like how you collab on Twitch to get more people to watch you, because people want to watch people together rather than people on there. Just one dude quietly staring at a screen.
I think the three of us playing video games, that was really fun.
Yeah, I kind of have. Okay, so
even though you almost had a rage aneurysm,
I have a couple of ways that we could go about it today, and I was kind of thinking. I feel like the direction we should go. So this is a game I played, and I'd be willing to restart it. It is called Night in the Woods. Have you played Night in the Woods?
Never even heard of it.
I think you would really, really like Night in the Woods.
Is it storytelling?
It is storytelling, and it is about. So what it is about a character named May who comes back to her small town, and so she's a cat. all the characters in the town are animals. Okay. She's a cat, and it's actually kind of reminded me when you were talking about the video game movie book that's like 8,000 pages, because Night in the Woods is one of those games. It was only $20 to buy it on my Switch.
Is she like a cat person? Or
yeah, she's a cat person.
She's got a stupid pointy hat.
She's a cat person. No, there's no stupid pointy hat. She comes home to her small town, and there's like a mystery as to why she dropped out of college. And there's a mystery. She did something a long time ago, apparently, that people still reflect on her. So people have like an image of her and who she is. And then she comes home, and there's like a mystery in town that's kind of going on. Like, she keeps seeing someone that looks like they're carrying around a body. So she starts to like investigate and then like look into the town history and stuff like that. So there's that. You have a social thing where like you have like 3 friends, and you can choose which ones you want to hang out with, which will give you a different social cue for each one. You have Greg, the very hyper but very depressed friend. You have his boyfriend. What's his name? I can't remember his name, but he's like this like very flat-toned bear who's just like, hey, how's it going? And he works at the video rental store. And then you have Bae, who you used to be best friends with, but Bae seems to hate you now. And she's really cool. Basil, I think her name is Basil. She's an alligator who smokes a lot. And each one
relatable.
Each social thing is like a mini game.
Yeah, I'm a fucking alligator, Tommy.
Each social hangout is like a mini game. So like, there's one time I was hanging out with Greg out in the woods, and I was like, we played this game where like, you have the 2 hands, and like you have to fucking stab him before he stabs you, and whoever gets the most marks wins. Like, it's a weird ass game to play with your friends. I know, right? Well, and that's the thing. Like,
it's Night Fight Friday. Let's fucking do it.
They're fucking weird. Like, they're weird friends. So it's one of those games that I fell in love with. Like, there's a scene with Greg where he talks about like his depression and stuff, and it's just beautiful, and it comes out of nowhere, but it's just this. Greg is like this, hey, what's up, man? But like, you realize he's dealing with a whole bunch of shit down below.
He's very sad.
And that's like, that just, I don't know. Like, I'm not the type of guy that's like super sad below, but like, you know, I mean, I can kind of relate, you know, a little bit, you know. Sometimes I'm like, hey, but I'm like down below, I'm like, oh, I'm dealing with this thing or that thing, you know. Greg's dealing with a lot more issues. But and then there's this idea of the lost friendship with Bae that you're exploring and stuff. Great.
Do they have Night Fight Fridays?
Her and Bae, no. But she goes out to help hook up this like radiator or something for an old lady. And that's just an absolute hilarity. Like, you have to find like different things in the basement to like hook up and make the radiator work again. May is just a weird. And then they also have like a Guitar Hero segment, which, here's the thing, okay? So this game was made on PC and PS4 first. Can you imagine playing Guitar Hero with just these 4 little fucking buttons? It's impossible! So I fail every time.
Jay, I know how to do it. Get good.
It's hard. It's so hard. I was like, because it does the string thing. Because Bae is either a guitar or a bass player. I can't remember. May is.
Bass is a guitar, Jay.
Yeah, but you have bass guitar with you, and guitar players. So, anyways.
Fucking semantics over here.
You fucking what, mate?
Anyways, there's like a Guitar Hero mini game. There's all sorts of shit, and then you're just like exploring the town, being social with people, and it just like it lays out a cool story. I think we should play that. I also downloaded Outlast, and I've never played it.
Oh my god, I love Outlast.
And then there's, I mean, of course, there's Mario and Zelda and bullshit.
Outlast 2's got a pit full of dead babies in it.
I don't like Outlast 2. And the pit full of dead babies was not like why I didn't like it. I don't like the outsideness. I think it's too open. even though they tried to go for a closed thing, like it just feels like it wasn't scary to me. Even though I do have a whole like Twitch clip of when the dude licks you, I'm just like, don't lick me, bro. Don't lick me, bro. He's like, that was the creepiest thing. Like,
I don't know. I felt like the antagonists on either side were very two-dimensional and heavy-handed.
Yeah,
it wasn't as well executed as the first game.
Yeah, and that's what I've heard. I've never played the first. I had to play the second for my show. And I was like,
me, bro.
I was like, don't lick me, bro. He's like, ah. And then there's a scene where I was just like, I'm gonna go up to this window, I'll open it, a bird just fucking pops out, and I'm like, ah! And everyone loves that clip of me just being like, because it was me genuinely shitting my pants when a bird just like out at me.
My friends used to like to have me play Dead Space and then laugh at me when I got startled.
I've never played Dead Space either. I've got a lot of horror games I haven't touched. I'm really bummed that we've all played Resident Evil 7 because
I've played it.
You've seen it. Sorry,
I've watched a silent playthrough.
It's still amazing.
It is one of my favorite like experiences, but I feel like it might not be the same a second time because the first time was incredibly intense. Like when there's a point where the girlfriend like I think you like knock her out or some shit like that, and she goes down. And then she comes up like she's the Exorcist. Like she just floats up. And she's like, right in your face. And I was like, oh, fuck!
The first scene with the girlfriend scared the shit out of me because you find her and she's like, alright, we gotta get out of here.
Yeah.
And then she disappears and then you see her and you like shout her name. I forget what it is. But you like shout her name and she's all like hunched over. And then her head comes up. And then she just looks at you and she has these like fucking bloodshot red eyes.
Oh yeah.
And then I'm like, wow, that's kind of creepy. And then she's like, and like lunges at the screen. And I was like,
she's terrifying. What was your thought on the silent playthrough?
I liked it.
Yeah. Did you get to see? So
I should finish that game.
My favorite. Apparently, Tommy and I both had the same experience. But my favorite thing that stood out in that game was when you get stuck in the garage with the guy that just murdered the cop. And so what I did was I was like, okay, so I got the keys, and then I was like, if I go buy the car, he's gonna get me. I'm like, I just know how this game is playing out right now. He's gonna get me, so I'm gonna go hide behind the car. But the game was so intuitive that it knew that I was gonna hide behind the car, so I hid behind the car. And then what he did was he ripped the roof of the car off and got into the car and started it himself. And then he's just doing a fucking burnout in the goddamn garage trying to hit you while he's doing donuts. Like, yeah, and I'm like, ah!
You're supposed to get in the car and hit him. I got in the car and I had the keys and everything. The door was unlocked and I was in the car getting ready to turn the thing. And he rips the door off and pulled me out of the car, and then he got in the car and ran me over. I was like, what the hell?
It's one of the most amazing sequences. Like, it is the biggest troll I've ever experienced in a game in a long time.
That's the one with like the hillbilly family.
Yes, yeah, you're trapped.
Okay, I was like, I hope I'm remembering the right game.
Directly after that, though, like the mom was not that, like... She kind of reminds me of like John Carpenter's The Thing, which was like okay, but like, I mean, I was like, I'm gonna blast this bitch with a shotgun, and I took her out.
That segment wasn't that creepy for me. Like, when you have to hide from her and stuff, I was like, wow, this is just a lot of me waiting and doing nothing.
What was the son's name? Eli or
Lucas?
Isaac?
Lucas.
I liked his game.
That
was one of his card games.
Yeah, that was actually really, really cool.
You only win it with one card. It's the only way to come out of it.
Wait, the card game?
Yeah.
Do you remember a card game?
I've only played the first like 6 hours of the game.
Oh,
so.
I wonder if you're talking about maybe there's like a DLC.
There might be an extra DLC, but there's like a
DLC with him.
You know how he likes to make fucked up.
Yeah, he's like Saw basically. Yeah.
Well, he has a card game. It's kind of like 21, and if you get a certain amount, you win. But if you don't, your hand is in an apparatus and it chops off one of your fingers.
Oh my god!
Every time you lose a hand.
Oh my god, that's anxiety
inducing. If you lose the game completely, you lose a hand. And there's only one way to beat the game, and it's with a card called Love Thy Neighbor, and it gives your opponent the exact number of cards for them to win. You have to play that a turn before yours. So, like, you give it to him, or you play it, he gets as many cards as he needs to win. It's his turn. He gives you a card. And then you give him a card to end the game, because he went over.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Does he lose his hand?
No.
Fucker.
He just loses the game.
Dick. That game is still one of my favorite. It scared the shit out of me. But the first two are so iconic when you're stuck in there with the girl from. I mean, she's basically Paranormal Activity. You know, like she flips, or The Exorcist. You know, she flips into demon mode. And then, you know what? I've only seen Paranormal Activity 1.
Yeah.
Paranormal Activity 2.
Keep it that way. And
then I saw Paranormal Activity, The Dark Ones. Paranormal Activity, I think it's called The Dark Ones, right? That's what solidified what they need to do now. So we were talking about every good franchise.
You've seen 2 of the 6 movies. Or 3 of the 6 movies.
Yeah, because I never watched 3. The Dark Ones is kind of 4. And then they had a few more after that, and I never watched them, but I like the Dark Ones, even though it's basically Paranormal Activity in the hood.
I hated the first one, because, like, nothing happens. Occasionally the lights will flicker in the first one. Nothing happens till, like, the last 5 minutes, and then all hell breaks loose, and I was like, wow, I sat through an hour and 20-some minutes of nothing.
The first one shook me, because I was like, oh, that wasn't that bad. And then I got home and I was like, I thought about that moment. Like, I was laying in bed alone at my own apartment, or like when I lived alone, and I thought about that moment where he lifted the blanket and grabbed her by the foot and fucking drug her. And I just, it haunts me to this day.
That's not the scary moment of the first one for me. The only scary moment for me is like one of the very end scenes where she, like, kills her boyfriend or whatever.
You're not terrified sleeping alone in your bed that someone is going to lift an invisible creature is going to lift the blanket, grab you by the foot, and take you where it wants to go.
Yeah, no. It would be the first time.
That's fucking terrifying. I got
terrified when she kills her boyfriend, because I first watched the movie at like 3:30 in the morning because I couldn't sleep.
I don't even care about the boyfriend. I was like,
she slaughters her boyfriend. Like, she slaughters her boyfriend, and then she stands up. And she just stands there for a couple seconds, and then she lunges at the screen, and that's the moment that scared me, because there's a cheap-ass jump scare, and I fucking hate cheap-ass jump scares.
Oh.
Did no one catch what I said?
What did you say?
You said you're not terrified of an invisible force lifting.
You said it's happened to you before.
It's just like, wouldn't be the first
time. Yeah, you've had the whole... We need to post that whole scary story.
Yeah, wouldn't be the fucking first time, honestly. I've had worse.
It's fucking... But that, to me, scared... Like, just the idea that... And then he drug her... And then down the stairs, around the hallway.
Yeah, his name's Toby.
Whichever one.
The demon's name is Toby?
Yeah.
What? Oh, okay.
Whichever so one of the movies.
Do me a favor. Have you seen them all then?
I've seen, every single
one. Spoil it for me.
Basically, throughout you get different perspectives on the story. What the girl in the first one was the little sister. One of the girl. There were 2 girls. So the third one is when they're children.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
well, because the first movie is about the main girl, the second movie is about her sister.
The first movie is about Katie and what happens with her, and then I don't remember her sister's name, but it's about her, and shit goes sideways. Yeah. And then the third movie, you figure out their dad acquires this really weird camera somewhere, like
the witches.
Yeah, kind of cool.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
But they get this weird motherfucking camera, and like his dad, their dad's a fucking video geek.
Yeah.
Through and through, like 80s AV club, the whole 9.
Okay.
And he opened the camera up and he goes, what the hell? Because you know how most of those old shoulder home video cameras only had 3 or 4 tubes?
Yeah.
This one had 12.
Tubes.
Like I don't know. It's weird. Like he's like, there's supposed to be this many of this.
Okay. So this one had 12
things to pick up light and shit.
Right. Okay. So it had 12.
Not lenses or anything. It was just shit. I don't know. AV is not my thing.
Okay.
Anyway, it had shit it wasn't supposed to times literally 4, like more than it needed and more than made sense.
Okay.
And so he's like, fuck it, I'll use it for home movies. So he starts doing that, and he can actually see Toby.
Is that what the little girls call her?
Yeah, the little girls call him Toby. The second one is about the second sister's daughter having an imaginary friend named Toby, and she doesn't remember from her childhood. And then the third one rolls around, and it's about their childhood. And much like the first one, the third one is really fucking slow going. Like,
but
really slow going.
The third one was the first one that actually spooked me, because I saw the first two and I was like, eh. And then I saw the third one and I was like, okay, I actually
My favorite moment in the third movie is when the dad is home alone and he gets stoned and he's sitting there, and then like you just like he's sitting there looking like, you know, dazed in front of the camera, and then this Santa Claus thing comes slowly into frame and he just goes and then it's his own hand. I don't know,
I love that moment. My favorite moment there's a moment like later on where the two girls are like in the bathroom and the one's like, let's play Bloody Mary, and the other one's like, that doesn't work. And so they do the Bloody Mary
Toby
thing.
Gets pissed.
And then, yeah, they open the door, and all of a sudden, their like play table and chairs is like rolling across the room, and they're both like, what the fuck?
Yeah, Toby gets fucking pissed.
Yeah.
And then the fourth one, oh shit, that one's about like...
That's the dark ones, technically.
Yeah, the dark ones. What was the one? Yeah, that one was The Hood, which was... I think it was just a connection movie. It's just like, hey, this happens elsewhere, too.
Yeah, well, it happens elsewhere, but then it ties directly back to the first movie, because when they go through a door, they end up, like, she, like, freaks out. She's like, oh my god, when she sees the friend and, like, stabs him and kills him.
Yep.
And then the boyfriend comes down, and the guy kills the boyfriend, and then she takes the boyfriend up and throws him.
Yep,
so
throws him
it explains
camera.
what happened
It's
while
cyclical.
she was downstairs, yeah.
And
which
then,
is okay.
Then you've got the ghost dimension, which honestly was completely stupid. It is not worth your time.
What is it? What? I don't...
It's just about a child being able to walk and see the ghost dimension. Like, physically be able to enter and leave and see Toby and where he exists.
Do you get... I mean, so you get to see what
you
Toby
never
looks
get a good
like?
look at him.
You never get a good look at
Not
Toby.
ever. I think the most you see is his feet. You get to see his general form. Like, he's shaped like a man.
Yeah.
But he is large.
Well, his feet should be demon-like, shouldn't they?
Okay, assuming that demon have cloven feet is just, like, really weird.
Wasn't even, like, cloven feet. It was, like, in the first movie, he lays out powder, and as Toby's like walking across, and it was, like, It was, like,
3 toes.
Yeah, 3 elongated toes, and that was my imagination. Well, it would be, like, more like the foot... And then the 2 longer toes, and it was
kind of like like some kind of bird,
like chicken feet.
Yeah,
yeah, and
Put
that
your
was
fucking thumb down. That's not how you throw the horns.
I know. Okay,
horns. This is horns.
I had to sharpen
Sailor Moon.
I had to sharpen your image.
This is love. This is.
I had to sharpen your image to make that work, but I finally got the video or got your picture to look a little better,
a little less
because
shitty.
I blew it up like on my screen and then took a screen cap and then I
cut it out,
dropped it in.
My dad, the first time I threw the horns in front of him, I had my thumb out and he's like, put the fucking thumb down. I was like, okay, Dad.
Okay, Dad.
But yeah, it's I mean, the whole mythology, it's a cool concept, and
yeah.
I love scary movies, and I will continue to love scary movies. Did you know Kevin Smith made a scary movie? He made a horror movie.
Is it the Hosers one?
No, it's not. It's not fucking Yoga Hosers.
Okay.
That's not a horror movie.
I was gonna say that was like Nazi hot dogs or something.
Actually, they're Bratzies. Nazi bratwurst.
Okay.
that's more of Kevin Smith ridiculousness, but seriously,
Yeah.
for serious, there is a severely fucked up movie that Kevin Smith made. It's called Tusk.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember Tusk.
Jason Long.
Yeah, I've seen the ending of Tusk too. I was like, holy fuck.
Yeah, that came out of the guy who made Jay and Silent Bob.
It also came out of the guy who made Jersey Girl. Kevin Smith, I think, has done a little bit of everything.
He has, and it just shows you, like, there's more to him than dick and weed jokes, bro. There's like actual dynamic humanity there.
I almost got to see
Also, Moose Jaws.
Yeah, I almost got to see Infinity War with Kevin Smith. My buddy was on Twitter, and Kevin Smith is like, I'm in Des Moines doing the show, and he's like, I need a place to see it. Does anybody want to watch it? Or who do I... And my friend sent him like 100 tweets and was like, dude, come and watch it. He works at Copper Creek in Des Moines. He's like, I'll get you a private show. And then he called me, and I had my brand new tickets at the Cinemark. And he's like, are you in? I'm like, 100% I'm in. I'm like, I got a couple of friends with me, though. Can I go? Can they come? And he's like, fuck yeah. And Kevin Smith never replied. And I'm like, that would have been the most legendary. Like, I got to see Avengers Infinity War with Kevin motherfucking Smith.
But he's working on another movie called Moose Jaws.
Is it a horror? Is it a comedy? Or?
It's like Jaws with a moose. And the moose.
If all the legendary Halloween movie characters had a battle royale, who do you think would win? Okay, go back to Moose Jaws.
All right,
and then we'll address your question.
Yeah,
we're gonna address your question.
So, Moose Jaws. It's basically Jaws with a moose in Canada.
Oh!
And the moose is going to eat Silent Bob.
Oh, is Silent Bob in it? Or
yeah, there's also Johnny Depp is in. He's in Tusk, and he's in Yoga Hosers, and he's going to be in Moose Jaws.
Yeah, Johnny Depp and Kevin Smith's daughters are actually the stars of Yoga Hosers, I believe.
Yeah, and he's the same guy in all three of those films. His name is Guy Lapointe.
Oh,
which irritates the shit out of me because literally means the point guy. He's there. He's the point. He's gonna be the key to all of it. He's gonna like tie everything together. Ha 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 ha.
Yeah, let's talk horror movies a little bit.
What was that question again?
If all the
Halloween movie characters,
if they were to do a battle royale, who would win? Who's the ultimate showdown of ultimate history in horror genre?
Or the guys from Screw Attack would beat them.
Yeah, Death Battle would be. I'm sure there's got to be a. Actually, well, they're not really video game. I mean, they are now, but
a lot of them are in Dead by Daylight.
Because I mean, there's Freddy versus Jason,
which we know they're evenly matched.
I still think Michael Myers would probably not.
Well, I mean, Michael Myers, the only way to kill him is for his sister to kill him. So,
okay.
Did you?
Is that really? I didn't.
Did you not watch the Halloween movie?
No, I don't fucking watch that.
Really? A couple of them were really good.
So
1 and 3 by far the best.
Halloween 2, I think, maybe the Rob Zombie one. That was playing at the theater.
The remake? I'm sorry.
I was watching someone get brutally murdered, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm good." Like I don't need to.
Dude, there's something with Rob Zombie's films. He just loves showing the world his wife's tits. I don't get it.
Did he do That's interesting. Did he do the Nightmare on Elm Street remake?
Yeah, he's the one that did the Nightmare on Elm Street reboot.
That was Rob?
Yeah.
Oh, I actually like. I was all right with that.
With the dude that played Rorschach.
Yeah.
Fun fact about that, actually, when he was a teenager, him and Johnny Depp, they both auditioned for the part that Johnny Depp got in the original Nightmare on Elm Street.
Really?
Yeah, and
that's
then he
interesting.
Played Freddy later in his life.
The thing I did love about the reboot is it gives you the backstory of why he's Freddy.
Yeah, of what happened to Freddy.
In the original movie, they don't explain that.
Like, so was he guilty?
As far as I know, I'm pretty sure...
Was he a child molester?
No, I'm pretty sure he was suspected of being it, but he's not actually guilty, and they burn him anyway.
They just burned him alive, so he's not in the wrong.
No,
I mean, he shouldn't be. He shouldn't be killing people, but he's just totally justified in being.
He's
pissed.
angry as fuck because I did nothing wrong and they burned me alive.
Well, it's that idea of mob mentality and what's so terrifying about humans in general.
So Freddy is definitely fucking in the running. I mean, all you got to do is wake up while you're holding on to him and you kill him in real life. But if you fall asleep, you're fucked. Let's see. I don't think Pinhead really counts.
What about Pumpkinhead?
Yeah, Pinhead would fuck some shit up.
From Hellraiser?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, a lot of what these horror creatures are doing is justified in some capacity, so...
It's an interesting... I don't
really think he could pass judgment. You know?
That's interesting.
That's an interesting thought. Which of these creatures would actually qualify for hell, according to Pinhead? Because, like, there's, you guys know Heavy Metal Magazine?
No, but tell me more.
What?
Just talk to me.
Okay, so Heavy Metal Magazine. It's been a magazine since '70.
Okay.
Yeah, and they had a horror release, and one of them it was a chimp in a lab, and it had the cube from Hellraiser, and it was working on it, and then it was just like a few panels of the side talking. Really think this is going to work? From what we've observed, how is this going to play out? If the creature doesn't have conscience, then it actually perceive what it's doing. And then the next panel is everything is horrible, chains, the whole nine. Shit is awful. And then Pinhead just walks up to the chimp sitting on the stool, and poor innocent creature. They knew not what they were doing.
Okay.
Yeah. Just because you're intelligent. It had the intelligence to figure out the cube.
Yeah.
It didn't have the intelligence to comprehend its action.
Okay.
So that would make me wonder, like Jason Voorhees, could he be judged for what he did?
I feel like, yeah. I mean, he's a psycho that kills people, and then he just keeps being brought back to life repeatedly. Dude, let's go back to the origin. Why does Jason kill people the way? Because it's been a long time.
Okay, so fun fact: Jason Voorhees is not the killer in the first Friday the 13th.
Yeah, it's his mom.
It's his mama.
Yeah,
and turns out
make
Jason,
mama happy.
Yeah, God. Jason, he drowned.
Yeah,
he drowned because he was special needs. He was deformed, and as far as I know, I think he had some mental problems as well. So he was to be supervised, and he was not being supervised, and he drowned. So the mother decided to butcher every single counselor there.
Oh.
And then when they started to reopen it, she did it again, until one of the counselors cut her fucking head off with a machete, dropped it on the ground, and then fell asleep in a boat. And then Jason was like, out of the lake. Clip that. That was a.
I don't know if we can. That's pretty insensitive, but funny.
What? No, it wasn't because like he had. It wasn't because he had like mental problems. It's just like that's like the face he's making when he's toppling the boat.
Okay.
I make those noises when I'm startled.
Okay.
You gotta watch Jason X.
You make those noises.
Yeah, man, I'm on the spectrum.
Listen, so Jason X actually.
I fucking love that movie.
It's that idea that like this is what I was talking about. So Jason X and Leprechaun in the Hood are the two examples of like when movies hit their jumping the shark point, like when horror movies, and that's why we talk about Paranormal Activity, the Jason Dark X ones being jumping the shark because it's like Paranormal Activity in the Hood.
There's a point.
So then we were waiting for Paranormal Activity in space because Jason X.
There is a point in Jason X where Jason is beating a camper in a sleeping bag hanging from a tree with another camper in a sleeping bag. He's just going.
You want to know what's funny? Have you played the Friday the 13th game?
I've watched people.
That's one of the moves you can do is you can beat the person. If you find him in the tent, he fucking grabs them, pulls them out, and starts beating them on the ground.
I just love Jason X because they were like, all this shit is totally ridiculous. Let's just throw it all in this movie and pretty much make fun of our own.
Oh yeah, it was entertaining as hell. I really enjoyed Jason X.
Okay, we've covered Freddy, Jason, Pinhead. Michael Myers is interesting because he's basically just Jason Voorhees.
Leprechaun and Chucky?
Chucky... Is Chucky dead? Did Chucky die yet?
No.
Okay, Chucky's
coming back. They want to do a TV series of Chucky.
So Chucky is interesting because he's a soul in a doll. And provided the doll is not destroyed, he's fine. So I guess you just hack him apart.
They don't really explain that, but like the criminal gets shot and dies and then comes back in the doll because...
Oh, yeah, they explain it.
Leprechaun...
He stole an amulet. Like a really valuable old amulet. And he gets shot, and that amulet happened to be like... That. Like the holder of soul or whatever, and he landed on the your best buddy Chuck doll or whatever, and his soul transferred to it.
I thought his blood was transferred into the plastic that makes those dolls. Nope. And so he was just like in those dolls.
He was shot in a department store.
I've always hated Chucky. They terrify me because I watched the movie when I was 7. And then my mom, as a joke, bought me a Chucky doll that year for Christmas.
Like the scary one or the nice guy Chucky?
Like the
good guy Chucky.
That scary looking Chucky doll. Freaked me the fuck out.
Your mom sucks, dude.
Yeah. The doll was kind of like Furby, where randomly it would just turn on and start talking to me in the middle of the night.
Furbies aren't supposed to do that. You know
my
right?
Furby did that all the time. Freaked me the fuck out.
They're not supposed to do that. They pick. Do you know why they do that? Because their idle, like the battery just running through their processor and shit, it picks up radio signals.
Does it?
So radio signal can actually trigger it to like turn on.
Wow, because when I was 7 and my grandma bought me a Furby, she thought I'd love it, and I had nightmares of that thing.
My friend had he told me the story. His little brother, they got him a peekaboo Big Bird doll, and what he would do is peekaboo, I see you. So they also had a baby cam. They would turn this thing off and put it on the other side of the room, and they'd hear in the baby cam, peekaboo, I see you. And they would come into the room and they'd look around, and it'd be on the other side of the room, turned off. That's some fucking juju shit right there. Like,
you gotta throw away that house. Like, you can't live in that house.
You gotta throw away that house.
Fuck it, burn it to the ground. Just pouring gas out the front door.
What are you doing? Big Bird's talking. Big Bird's talking.
I can't.
Big Bird's talking.
Alright, so we covered Michael Myers is basically Jason Voorhees. Fun fact, the mask Michael Myers wears is actually Captain Kirk mask painted white.
Yep.
Who else is there? There's the Candyman.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of Jordan Peele. Jordan Peele is in line to make a new Candyman.
Is he gonna be the Candyman?
I have no idea. But they're talking about he's gonna make a Candyman movie.
He's doing a lot.
Yeah, he's fucking
he's
busy.
Making the fucking Twilight Zone.
When you watch Get Out, you'll understand why he's so into it.
I've only seen a half hour of it, and just the different camera angles and the subtleties in the movie so far. Holy shit! It's like when they're first pulling up to the parents' house, the camera's like distorted and like blurring, like. It's literally shifting view. It's
one of those movies, really once you watch it the second time, you'll want to watch it again.
I think our main man Chris has something to say. Yeah.
Jigsaw, Hannibal Lecter, Ghostface, Pennywise. Ooh, Pennywise is...
You can't really classify Pennywise. He's a celestial being, dude.
Yeah.
You can't just say, how would he do against these other fuckers? He would win.
That's the hardest... That's why these are so hard.
Pennywise is the physical embodiment of fear. He's existed since ever. He just happened to have crashed to Earth at some point in the 1800s.
I still need to watch the new It. I think for Halloween, maybe for Halloween we should do that. Like coming up, like the weeks beforehand, we should watch it.
I own the movie on my laptop, so.
I'm definitely watching this Friday.
So too bad your laptop's not here.
It's always here.
This Friday, definitely watching Predator.
The Predator.
Maybe Thursday. Yeah, Predator's coming out.
See it, but
hey, I love the director. It's the guy who did Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. I like the cast. The guy from This Is Us. Also, Thomas Jane apparently is in this movie. Key from Key and Peele is going to be in this movie. I'm in. Like, I'm 100% in. I think, from what I've heard, it's not scary. It's just action and fun.
Tell
that's
me,
all. And
tell
that's
me
what
Key's full name without Googling it.
Key Peele. No, I don't know. I don't know Key fucking full name. What's his full name?
I'm pretty sure it's Keegan.
Keegan. Okay.
Keegan something.
Is it Keegan Michael?
That actually sounds right. Or Michael Keegan.
Yeah, maybe.
He's the world's angriest substitute teacher.
Hey, Ron!
I'm really digging his new, like the Quicken Loans commercials. Like, I really like that. There's one where the guy's like, I was like, oh, give me my swan song, and then I'm retiring to blah. And she looks over at him and he goes, he's just gonna give you a bob, put a few clips in your hair, and then he's gonna move to Burma. But you're gonna look amazing.
I loved when he did that. I loved when he did that bit with Obama where he played his anger translator. That one was hilarious. Obama out.
He's a cool cat.
The racist zombie skit from their first season is still one of my favorite fucking things ever.
That's one of my favorites. I also love the skit they do. I said bitch. That skit.
The snapback skit. That one's fucking great.
I said.
So yeah, Predator comes out on Friday. My only sad thing is
that said, how do you think Predator would fare in this battle royale?
He's too weak, I think. Like, honestly, like, I think he would take out. I think he'd do good against Jason.
He could handle Jason, Michael, and maybe. Wait, you say Jigsaw?
Yeah.
You are aware that's an elderly man, right?
Yeah, but give Jigsaw the Batman benefit and give him time to
John
prepare.
Is very old and dying of cancer.
Yeah, but give him time to prepare. And, like, can you imagine Predator walking into a Jigsaw trap? Like, watching it just...
Predator's more than human, though.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, well, again, time to prepare and time to study. Like, Jigsaw's like the Batman element. Like, just his superpower is prep time.
Dude, I have sympathy for Jigsaw, honestly. Like, I understand. Like, I've seen most of the movies, not the newest one, but I've seen all of them up until then. And you actually, like, amongst all of the gore and torture porn, there is actually a story about John and Gideon and shit, and it's really, really sad.
Hannibal would die because he'd be like eating the brains of someone's victim. He'd be like, "Oh, I'm over here. I'm gonna cook this up. I'm gonna cook a fillet," and then Jason would be like,
just like.
How about Alien? Pop Alien in this bitch.
The Xenomorph.
Yeah, put the Xenomorph up against these guys. That would be interesting.
Clearly, they would get murked because fucking Xenomorph and Predator would be too busy duking it out for anyone else to fucking.
I want to see Xenomorph because, like, so Freddy would be useless against Xenomorph.
Oh yeah, I don't think they sleep.
Also,
like, if they do,
like Michael Myers and like Jason would get like wrecked.
Oh yeah,
like they would, and it would be really. Actually, I would love to see two people having sex and like. Like Jason's like walking up with a spear, and he just turns, and there's like the Xenomorph there, and they're like looking at each other, like, "Hey, this is."
Michael Myers with a butcher knife kind of leads.
Yeah, they're like, "This is my time to murder this person." No, it's not Friday the 13th or Halloween. I'm the Xenomorph. Get out. No, but they're having sex. Yeah, that's why I want to murder them. It's the perfect time to kill them. Yeah, that's why we're here. And they all just like, whose jurisdiction is this? Like a bunch of fucking FBI agents.
So Hannibal, Ghostface, once again, just a dude with a knife. So
what about Slenderman? He's not really a horror character, though.
He is a horror character, but, he's more of like a just see him again like stalking.
Dude,
could you see like a level of stalkers? Like you see just like this girl like, oh my god, I don't know what's going on, and then behind a tree is Michael, and then you go Jason. 3 trees back, Jason, 3 trees back, Slenderman. They're all just. We need someone to draw this shit. Like that would be
I love
a sweet drawing.
I do. I love it to death. I listen to it constantly. Like it's all I use YouTube for, other than skateboarding videos. But I like skateboarding. Fuck you.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
You're comedy, man.
I have a longboard, and I'm going to be getting a street deck soon. So I'm learning how to skateboard because it's good exercise. I enjoy it.
There you go.
I also love bouncing off the concrete.
Ow.
The first time I spilled it, I bashed my knee on the concrete, rolled and bounced a couple times, grabbed my board, jumped up off the ground, and said, "God, I love it." And then I skated away. I'm gonna put Xenomorph up there towards the top, and I'm gonna put Pennywise up there towards the top. Definitely Pennywise, Xenomorph, and any like ethereal creature, like the Candyman, because he's like a ghost. He's a ghosty. Yeah, he can't be touched. I feel like
Because again, like the xenomorph has no fear. Pennywise kind of useless.
Yeah, Pennywise is fucking useless against the xenomorph, but you also have to understand that Pennywise is a shapeshifter.
I think Predator is going to get fucked.
Predator's going to get murked because I'm pretty sure Predator can feel fear.
I am excited about though this new Predator is like a hulking
you get to
Predator.
See Big Daddy Predator.
Yeah, I'm cool with Big Daddy.
The Predator.
That's what like I watch the Predator movies not because like they're supposed to be scary, but because they're awesome.
All
like,
right,
AVP,
so like total unpopular opinion. My favorite movie of any of either of those two genres is Alien versus Predator.
Yeah,
just
AVP
the first
is
one
badass.
Is my favorite one.
Yeah,
because you get to see both.
Yeah,
because I can't remember why is Predator attacking the humans in AVP. Is it because they're getting in his way?
I think so. I think they're just in his way because essentially they work together. It harder
than it has to be for him to hunt.
Yeah, because he comes in. So it's essentially in apparently it's an alternate universe. This is
really? AVP doesn't happen here.
It doesn't happen in
actual canon.
Well, yeah, it doesn't happen in this canon, like the Predator canon and the Xenomorph canon. This is its own thing.
Shit.
Requiem.
Oh, Alien vs. Predator Requiem.
They said non-canon.
Oh, so it's non-canon. So, it's just like a what if.
Yeah, so it's this idea that like what they do is they use Earth as their hunting grounds, which I mean that is normal. But what they do is they put xenomorphs in a pyramid. They get humans to run around and breed the xenomorphs, and then they come down and it's their birthright. Like it's their this is how they become men.
It's a rite of passage.
And they're to kill a xenomorph and bring the skull back. And it makes sense if you you're looking at Predator 2, you actually get to see on the Predator ship, there is a xenomorph skull. So, I mean, and that which spawned the idea of AVP, but they said it's an alternate universe. I don't know why. I fucking love it.
Really cool. I mean, it would make sense because remember the black lady who kills a xenomorph?
Yeah.
AVP?
Yeah.
And then Predator just kind of walks up to her, takes his mask off, flexes his mandibles at her, like he's trying to talk to her.
He draws in their dialect.
The facehugger leg and draws in the acid blood on her face. I think it was a symbol for warrior.
Yeah.
And then gives her the skull shield and its tail.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
It was badass.
That was so cool.
That's what I love about it is because in the end, she earns the Predator's respect.
You get respect from the Predator.
Not even Arnie.
Would you put Samara from the Ring movies or
Cujo in the battle? Cujo would go down like a bitch.
Yeah, Cujo, it's just a pissed off dog.
Cujo's just a dog with rabies.
Samara or the Grudge girl?
Samara, like we said, ghosties don't really they can't really be quantified because there are specific ways of killing them, so they would just be fighting.
It'd be really interesting.
It would be cool to see, but I think it would get boring after.
Yeah. Just welcome other two people who are watching.
Oh shit! There are two more people.
Yeah, there are two more people.
Hot shit! Hi, how you doing?
Yeah, we're getting into Predator talk. We're talking monsters and shit because Halloween's coming someday.
Dude,
I'm pumped.
Dude, it's September, Halloween Eve.
So my new house is I'm gonna be handing out candy and shit. If I have to work on Halloween though, I'm gonna fucking cry. I don't know what day Halloween is this year or candy night is, but I want to hand out candy. I do. I'm pumped. But we're at the end of a block. We're by a dead end, so I'm worried that kids aren't gonna come around.
I don't have to work on Halloween.
What is it?
It's a Wednesday.
I mean, I'm done by 8, but that's normally when they stop trick-or-treating then.
Mm-hmm.
I had to just I don't know. Oh, by the way, I was told that you actually brought a new viewer in. So one of my coworkers, her daughter's boyfriend met you at Come and Go, and he was like, that dude's fucking awesome. And she's like, yeah, he's doing a podcast with the guy that I work with. And he's like, I'm in! He said he wants to watch. If you're passing out candy, Jay, I'm visiting. No,
do that, Chris.
No, Chris.
You better dress up.
Show up in like a really bad Nacho Libre outfit.
When Jay answers the door, you gotta be like, Nacho!
You get extra candy if you show up with a baseball hat and say, I'm a new kid on the block? No. It's have you ever seen Well, I'm about to ask if you ever seen Hocus Pocus.
What?
Jesus fucking Christ. Hocus Pocus.
Fuck you think, Jay?
He wears a baseball hat, and the one kid goes, "What are you, a new kid on the block?" Ha! I think he just says he's like little. Oh yeah, he says he's a little leaguer. So if you show up in a baseball hat and say, "I'm a little leaguer," I'll give you extra candy.
I brought in a new viewer. Wow.
Yeah, you did. He was like, "Oh shit!" He's like, "I'm totally in for that."
That guy's fucking awesome.
I am currently advertising. So I put $5 into advertising that video that we did.
What one?
The one that I made, the 2-minute, like
me insulting, basically just me being a dick to the two of you for 2 minutes.
No, it was like, so the first one was like, we talked about who we are.
Oh yeah.
So I'm Drizzt, I'm Tommy, MF White, I'm Jay. This is just another nerdy podcast. And then it was like, who are we? And we talk about, so like, I'm the theater major, you're the poet, you're nerdy to the max. And then at the end, me forcing you to promote, which is still the best.
I think you just find like joy in it because of how much I hate it.
You're like, if you want to fucking put it this way.
I guess.
Or we're on Castbox if that's your fucking speed. That was the best line.
Some of the best moments are just when he's angry ranting.
Oh man, I was like, do it. And he's like, I don't want to. And I'm like, do it. I'm like, just do it how you want. And he's like, all right. And then and he's just doing it unwillingly and unhappily. Next week we're actually gonna. So next week I think we got to meet and stuff. Also, since we're gonna be on a new set, I think you should bring your fill lights. But tell me, are they like plug-in?
They're like actual lighting lights.
Yeah, do they plug in to the wall? Are they battery powered or?
I think they plug into the wall. They're like umbrella lights, dude.
Okay.
They're for like makeup artistry stage lighting.
Oh, is that why V has them?
Yes, she used to be in makeup artistry.
Oh, okay.
She's very.
She should do.
She just doesn't.
I have an idea. So for our week before Halloween podcast, we should have V do makeup. Do Halloween shit
stuff.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, so next week we're not going to be able to do just another nerdy podcast.
I'm so sorry.
I have to we have to focus on moving, otherwise it could go very, very wrong. And then I want to get into the set and just see if we can get comfortable, and hopefully we're going to have more space to film in.
Yeah, Jay, we've been doing this for almost 4 months.
Yeah.
And I've only seen your wife one time. And I've never spoken to her.
It's because she works.
Ever.
Yeah. She.
Like, even when I saw you guys in public that one time.
Oh my god. So this is a really funny story. So we're out so they have parties in our downtown area. One Friday, like every month during the summer. And my wife and I like to go and just walk around, listen to music, eat ice cream. And then I ate barbecue from the barbecue truck. Anyways, I see Drizzt and I'm like, yes! Someone I know. And I'm like, hey buddy, and we walk up and we hug and he's like, cool. And I turn around to say something to someone, I think it was Grace, and I turn back and you're fucking gone. You're just like, I was expecting to like talk to you just a little bit and you're like, nope, out.
Didn't even see me.
He just fucking left.
He fucking vanished.
I was like, damn.
How did he? What?
I was like, He's gone.
He's huge and wearing a purple t-shirt. Where the fuck did he go?
They are umbrella lights for filming. Use them for my YouTube channel, by the way. Is that... Oh, Zephyr is... Oh, so our second viewer right now, I think, is V.
Oh, that is V. Hello.
Hey, V!
Hi, V.
Yeah, I'm like, if we're allowed to use those, I think we should start using those when we're on the new set.
Try to give us a little bit more production value.
Well, yeah, I think that's the thing we're missing right now is just the.
I mean, we don't really have a defined set. We're just sitting in a room.
Yeah, so if we can make the set a set, because I told my wife, I said I'm taking over that room. And she's like, it's fine. I'll go in there for the computer anyways. So
God,
try and build up like a little bit of a functional set, and then we can at that point start hopefully looking a little more professional, and then building from there. Mm-hmm. I know Sundays Donnie wants to do like a Dungeons and Dragons podcast, which I'm 100% into. The problem is my setup is rooted. So like we need to figure something out mobile. That's the hardest part. And like I was talking to Mermaid Queen, and you know what she said to me? She goes, "Why do you only do one day a week?" And I'm like, well, you know, most podcasts that I listen to are only once a week. Like I don't listen to, because it's hard to stay up on a podcast. It really is. Like it's difficult.
What do you mean stay up?
Like stay current with one. Like I'm like months behind Harmontown and months behind Only Stupid Answers, which are the two podcasts I like to listen to. But
dude, the one podcast I used to listen to, I haven't listened to since a long time ago.
Yeah,
like I stopped listening around number 136, and they're on number 428.
Yeah, that's the most difficult thing about doing once a week, and then also keeping it like under formatted. So like basically we talk about the current news for the week. We have nerdy news and then we just shoot the shit together. Yeah, then we shoot the shit. We talk about the stuff we did. Yeah. So that's good for like podcast format. But then there's going to be other stuff that I want to do, like a reoccurring series. I want to do the writing series really bad. And then I want to do...
Did I tell you guys about the writing thing?
Other stuff. Yeah, you did.
The handbook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How's that going?
It's slow going.
So she used to have a YouTube channel.
Yeah, like I said, she was in school for makeup artistry and aesthetics.
Okay.
So she knows how to do like makeup and shit. She's decent with like prosthesis, like horror prosthesis and stuff.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's really neat.
That's super cool. I was just talking to a friend. I feel really bad, so I was talking to her today.
Yeah.
I was like, how's it going? I just wanted to pop in and say hi.
Yeah.
She lives in... I don't know where she lives anymore.
Not here.
She was in California. She was in Texas. I think she might be in Texas. She was in Maryland. But I was talking to her. I said, hey, you know, how's things going? She goes, not great right now, to be honest. I said, what's up? And she's like, well, my car broke down.
Bummer.
She goes, she works at a comic book store.
Right.
And she's like, I was on my way to work, or I was going to go to work, and my car broke down. And I'm waiting for a tow truck so I can go to work. And she goes, and my boss is pretty mad at me because so she's leaving. Him and her are going to Philadelphia for a convention that's there. And she was going to do some cosplay. Not enough time now at this point to set anything up. But he was supposed to be loading up his truck, and now he has to be at the shop opening up. But it's like, you know, you got to understand, if you're a boss, like if you're any form of an employer, you have to understand, like, that's gonna happen.
If shit goes sideways, you're gonna have to cover.
Yeah, you're gonna have to cover. And if it's something that someone can't control, like their vehicle stopping, like you just can't predict that.
You can't be mad about it.
Yeah, you shouldn't be upset about it. But I was talking to her about it. I said, do you still do cosplay? And she's like, you know, I have my YouTube channel. She goes, but she goes, honestly, it became too stressful doing one video a week. So I kind of cut out of it. She goes, it's on hiatus indefinitely, which is unfortunate because I went and checked it out. So what she was doing was pull lists for comic books once a week and talking about her cosplay. And from time to time, she would wear her cosplay while doing the pull lists. So she had like a really cool Captain Marvel outfit when she was doing it. And I'm like, that's so dope. Like, I want to talk to her and see, like, maybe it should be interesting. Jay, whenever you go live for D&D, tell me the channel or either YouTube or Twitch so I can watch it. I have nothing else going on. You're damn skippy, man.
I think we could. I work Sundays, but we could do like a late night D&D thing. Break it off. If you're okay with late night D&D.
That might be a good idea. Well, let me work on some things because we need to grow and branch in a different way.
That reminds me, we need to buy a new dice set.
That's what we do.
We need to figure out how to, like, make this mobile. Because, like, I want this podcast to be set at my house, but the rest of the podcast stuff, like D&D stuff, eventually, too, like, I love the idea, like, if we can get something going at your place, then we can kind of bounce between a couple locations. And then the podcast can become independent as well. So, like, if I'm, like, say I'm fucking sick as hell.
Jay's indisposed. Hello.
You guys can still carry it on. You need to do scary story time in October.
I was just about to say, Jay, Halloween's on a Wednesday. We can have a spooper special episode.
It's on our day.
Dingus.
We do have to do a spooper special episode.
Spectacular.
We can talk about ghost stories.
Jay, start making that graphic. We need the spectacular.
I tell you what, if I can get some money together, I have a friend who draws spooky stuff. So she would be really fun. Her name is Zalthara. She's a Twitch streamer. Zalthara is dope. Right now, though, she is healing her hand because she got a hand tattoo. So she's waiting for her hand to heal before she starts streaming again and starts drawing again.
Is she like a speed painter? What's up?
So what she was streaming video games for a while, but what she mostly does is she actually gets paid to do channel art for people. So she'll draw channel art for people, and so and that's not her job, but like it's her hobby job, her jobby. Hobjobby.
My friend Maka's a good artist. If you ever need any art stuff done.
Your friend who?
My friend Maka. Michaela.
I refuse to comment on that specific human being.
Like, just a really good artist.
Well, I want to get Kevin in for like comic stuff. Kevin.
I love Kevin.
But Kevin knows where I live right now, and he hasn't popped by. And he was supposed to pop by like 3 or 4 weeks ago. I know where Kevin lives because he lives right next to where I work.
He is in the wind more than I am, and that's saying something.
Yeah, he's really tough.
Jay, have you ever been able to nail down exactly where I am unless I'm at work?
No, because even when I think you're at work, you're not at work anymore. Exactly. I've been by like 3 or 4 times, and that lady's behind the counter, and I'm like, it's not Drizzt.
That's funny because like every time I randomly just go there with friends, he's always there.
I know. What's your new? We'll talk about your new schedule off camera so people can't stalk you.
Yeah.
I do feel bad about giving away the location of I'm the Mermaid Queen a little bit, but it was just something I had to tell you guys because that was so cool.
The only weird like borderline obsessive fan that we have is Chris, and he's harmless. We love you, Chris.
As far as you know.
As far as I know. Please don't kill me in my sleep, Chris.
I'm not Chris.
How are you sending us messages?
Because I'm also Chris. We're all Chris. We all Chris here. Depending on what time Sunday night, I might miss most of all of it. I watch football live stream Sunday night, but not football season, then I'll be there. I'll watch it, then I get a... Well, it'll be like... I mean, if we're talking about late night, it should be after football.
So, like 10 p.m.?
Yeah, because football... Probably. Well, football will get over like 10:30.
What do you think a decent session length would be? 2 or 3 hours?
Well, we do...
Jesus Christ.
We do plenty of D&D and tabletops at Multiverse.
My old manism is coming out.
Tommy, just a second. Alright, listen here, fucker.
I know, D&D's supposed to be long.
I played Dungeons and Dragons for 23 hours straight.
Here's the thing. Here's what's getting in me is this old manism of like...
that as well, Tommy.
No, for 23 hours straight.
I hate...
Oh, you haven't?
I'm like... Here's the thing, like... So good streamers on Twitch stream for about 8 hours at a time.
I do
8 hours.
Want to... There's a convention my friend went to called GaryCon. And
Tommy's out with his dog hanging out.
And so he did this one all-day session where... All day Saturday, you start in the beginning of the day and you make a level 1 D&D character, and then you play all day and you level him up from 1 till the max level, and then you play till he dies, and you just play through the life of your character in one day. And so it was a 24-hour D&D session where you just play from birth to death of your character.
Sounds like a Sims. I got so mad at Sims 2 when I found out that they had a life cycle. Because in Sims 1, your Sim is just eternally alive, and then in Sims 2, like I was trying to become president, and my Sim got old and died, and I was like, "What the fuck?" I was like, "You dicks!" They're like, "Do you want to be his roommate now?" And I'm like, "No, I was working on being president." Like,
Chris claims he's at your house hanging out with your dog.
Yeah. He's hanging out with your dog.
Cool.
Or I'm at Jay's bush or tree watching you right now. Probably that tree right there. We can see you.
Joke's on you, fucker. You don't even know where I live.
I could see it. I have a terrible guard dog.
I don't even know where you live.
My dog loves everybody. The only time he would ever get mad is if you physically try and harm me, or if you like put your hands on me. My dog freaks out.
Yeah,
otherwise,
that's how.
You can come into my house, ransack it, steal my TV, take all the shit. My dog will just be like, "Hi, how's it going?"
Can you pet me, please?
Yeah, see you later.
Do you want to rub my belly?
Yeah.
Before you take that TV? Grinnell?
Wrong, no, fuck boy.
Wrong answer. Wrong. JK.
He doesn't actually exist. He's in your imagination.
Yeah, dude, I'm a fucking ghost. We've been over this.
You're a celestial being that happened to crash on Earth in the 1800s.
Yeah, I'm the physical embodiment of rage.
I can totally see it.
What was that? What was that thing you came in with?
All right, fuckers. I got a chest full of hate and a mouth full of yelling. Let's fucking do this.
I'm so mad that I was not recording at that time.
Just me stomping into the room.
Fucking damn
Speaking of our Harrison Ford bit, I was having a movie day this last weekend with my roommates. We were watching random movies, and it just popped into my head because we were watching the first G.I. Joe movie, and Dennis Quaid plays the general, and Dennis Quaid like comes in and he's like, "I'm the general," and I'm like, "Look, it's Harrison Ford!" I started laughing my ass off, and both my roommates were just looking at me, and they're like, "You're retarded." I was like, "Oh, it's Harrison Ford."
We don't get inside jokes that we're not inside.
Oh, I got the inside joke. Before I even said it was Harrison Ford, I saw Dennis Quaid and I just started fucking laughing, and they were like, "What's wrong?" And I was like, "It's Harrison Ford."
I told Joshua Coburn about that, and he goes, "That's actually right." He's like, "You are on point."
He's not wrong.
I said we were talking about how he's a happy Harrison Ford. He's like, "That's."
Once I explained the bit to my roommates, and I was like, "He's a less angry Harrison Ford." My roommate's like, "I hate you now."
He really is. Like, Harrison Ford is so angry all the time.
So have you interviewed Josh?
Dennis Quaid. Yeah, the interview's done. I just have to edit it.
All right. Do you know? I don't know what his last name is. Fanny Pack Steve.
Are you talking about the old man?
Oh yeah.
There's no way in hell I will ever talk to that man again. So I worked at the city pool. Okay? This man's name is Steve Jensen, by the way. And he is fucking Satan on ice. Because he comes in smelling like cigarettes and BO. Every time, like the worst of smells too. Like, I mean, so bad. And he walks in, and he fucking. I'm actually in the closet behind Tommy. Jay doesn't want to admit that we are friends and doesn't want me to beat you guys when we were hanging out before you guys come to this. Let me tell you something, Chris. If you were here, you'd be on this fucking podcast.
Yeah, dude, we would let you on the fucking screen.
Totally
you wouldn't have to hide in the closet.
Yeah, you wouldn't have to hide in the closet.
You've seen every episode aside from one in the entire run of this fucking podcast.
He was even in most of Catchy. And he's popped in on a few of my streams too.
If you like, I don't think Jay would be opposed to if you were free, letting you fucking come and shoot the shit with us.
I tried to watch Jay play Doom.
Honestly,
that was before he figured out his monitor. And I was like, it's all so dark, I can't see what
it was doing. It was the gamma settings, and the computer decided to set the gamma settings to almost fucking black, which pissed me off. When I found out that it was just the gamma setting, because I looked through every setting and I was like, gamma, and I went up and down. I'm like, this is it. But yeah, no, Chris, especially when I get to the new place and we start expanding the podcast, I am 100% in. We've had V on here, and V doesn't even want to be in it. Yeah. Every time she's like,
I guess.
She's just
it's not that she doesn't want to be in it, she just she's not very good in front of a camera.
So that's what Mermaid Queen, she doesn't do cameras. She's like, I would totally want to be on your podcast, but I don't like cameras.
Dude, we could
so I'm thinking one day we should do a blind podcast.
That's what I was saying. We could just do like a voice chat with like stills or just a picture of something.
Like a blind podcast would be dope, because Mermaid Queen, she's really cool. Like, she's really fun to talk to. She was playing Ark.
Survival Evolved?
Yeah, it is her right now. They're calling it her Fortnite rehab. I kept saying
Fortnite.
I kept saying Fortnite. I said, you got the Fortnite shakes. She starts laughing. She's like, I'm in a corner throwing up. I need some Fortnite. Then I'm running to you guys right now from Malcolm with my fluffy self.
All I'm getting is like just the most beautiful mental image of Chris sprinting down the interstate on his way to Grinnell.
He's doing 120.
I'm picturing that scene from Forrest Gump when he's just running down the highway and he's aging as he runs.
Just
by the time he gets here, he's an old man.
He shows up. Yeah, no, the Mermaid Queen, cool stuff. That's what I got to say about that. That's all I got to say about that. Yeah, no, Chris, we're cool, man. Like we don't want to hide from you, buddy.
Yeah. I mean, I hide from everyone. I don't like when people know where I am, but that's just general.
Yeah, Steve Jensen though, never. That man he's the biggest prick.
He used to get me in trouble when I worked at Walmart because he will come in
and rant,
and he will go into your aisle and rant to you, and then when you're like, yeah, okay, I gotta get back to work, he will just stand there, ignore what you said, and just rant and rant and talk to you. And every time my boss would be like, you gotta not talk to him. I was like, I'm not talking to him. He just stands next to me and rants for like 2 hours.
Bush again, Jay?
Go for it.
As long as you mean literally a bush outside and not like figuratively creepy style. Yeah, you can sleep in my bush. It won't be my bush after this week though. Okay, so this is my bush until the 28th is when we're supposed to be out by. But this weekend we're gonna like full blown move. Like this bookshelf's ow. Not enough water. Getting thrown away. Clearly. And then I'd be careful. It will fall.
I was gonna say, for sure, just one solid punch right here, it'll fall apart.
Yeah. I think since we're getting the lights, like since you're gonna probably bring those lights.
Hey, if I have prior knowledge,
I could prepare myself. That would help. Just saying.
That's fair, V.
I think I'm gonna get rid of that lamp.
We can just kind of throw you into the fray most of the time because Tommy's not here.
What can I say?
Tommy either shows up halfway through like befuddled, like
or not at all.
He showed up like soaked head to toe last week. I was like, "Do not walk in the rain. Someone stole my phone."
Once it'll be like I won't answer your guys' messages, and I'll show up like 5 minutes late, or I'll tell you I'll be there the night before, and then I'm not fucking here.
You fell asleep that one time, to be fair.
I did. I passed the fuck out.
Oh, so this is...
That's what I was responding to her.
Yeah, like, she's saying, okay.
So, like, yeah, it would probably help if we were, like, cool and told you we wanted you on the podcast instead of, like, using you as a substitute when Tommy wasn't here.
And I don't like having her sit outside, though. That's what makes me feel sad.
You're just like, sits outside. She could be sitting in here talking to us and not alone in a car.
Yeah.
Or at the very least, just downstairs snoozing on my couch.
Yeah. The truth of this podcast, though, is we really need like women, like like female perspectives. That's why I really want so I was thinking about. I was like, okay, Lizzie and Donnie. So we got Lizzie.
Shit, dude.
Like V if
what the fuck is
prepared. That? Oh my god! Oh, OMG!
Hello. Welcome to the cast, man.
Howdy, CCI9T.
That hell of a username.
We'll call you Cock. Hey, Cock! Welcome! We're just doing another podcast! Oh my god! We're excited to see you. Do me a favor, hit follow so you can see us podcast
to see
every Wednesday.
Yeah, we
at 11 a.m. Central.
We like having people listen to our dumb fucking conversations.
I like that. You see, there are people in there.
That's why she doesn't like to be in here.
Because there's people inside here.
She's not a people person.
You don't have to be a people person. I'm a people person for everybody. You could just ignore me in the corner. I'm cool with that. Like
you just sit over there and dink on your phone.
You should buy a Switch. That way you can just play it in the corner.
We're working on it.
You're working on it?
We're working
Those things are...
Did you see the new special edition one coming up?
No way.
The Pokemon one, yeah.
There's a special edition Pokemon one. It has an adorable Eevee on one side and an adorable Pikachu on the other. The Joy-Cons are brown and yellow, respectively. Mm-hmm. And then on the back, on the black part of the Switch, is actually the little Pikachu and Pichus all over it. Or Pikachu and Eevees.
That's cute.
Yeah, I mean...
It looks cool. I want to get it.
At Zaffer Revelation.
Ooh.
Hey, Cock, can you expand for us a little?
Yeah, can you, explain
Don't get dirty over here.
I couldn't help it.
We're just talking about expanding cock. Don't.
Awesome.
So, anyways,
I love doing this fucking podcast.
I gotta get that thing's gonna get in the podcast because that thing's pretty cool. It's upset me that it's been where I can't put it. We're gonna take down some of these pictures. I think this is gonna go outside of view of the podcast and somewhere else. The big ass picture of me. I'm gonna switch that Lego movie poster over to Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
I still would love to find a Superman. You go right next to
We are getting that Drizzt. Oh, V is down for the fucking.
Look up the pictures. It looks beautiful.
All right, love. We can get it. It's cool.
Well, that means you might have to wait longer.
Still.
November. Because that's when it comes out.
Yeah. Guys, V fucking loves Pokemon.
You can get...
Period. The end.
So, I read the article on it. You can get... It's the same special edition console, but you get the Eevee version or the Pikachu version, depending on which one of the games you want.
Do you also get the big-ass Pokeball?
That is a separate thing.
Little Pokeball.
Through GameStop,
are you gonna carry that around?
Fucking stupid.
Through GameStop, I pre-ordered the bundle. I think it's cool.
What's interesting about it though is like this idea that so it's just like a pointer and then a click. So if you really realize that Pokemon is just menus and and moving back and forth. So you really just need a joystick and a clicker, and that's all you need for Pokemon. So it really is a brilliant thing that they're like, hey, you know what we could do? Just make a Pokeball.
Plus,
you're moving that beautiful picture of you, Jay, so I won't get to see it no more on the podcast? No, sorry.
Plus, it's the only way to get Mew.
It's so fucking big, but I do appreciate it because one of my best friends actually made that and hung it up in an art gallery in school.
I do quite enjoy that picture because it is you.
Yeah.
Like I know it's literally a picture of you, but it is very much you in content as well.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of how she flows. Yes, I will carry that Pokeball because I want to be a Pokemon master. She's gonna catch them all, motherfuckers. you're like, God damn it.
I remember when you could actually catch them all. Now there's like 780 Pokemon.
I don't want to be the very best because I already am.
So, where she's Ash Ketchum, you're Gary?
No. I'm Red.
Yeah, Red is far superior to Ash in every way.
So it wasn't... Okay, yep. Okay, we're back. I'm sorry.
Red's
Red and
from
Blue.
The original games. He's also from the manga. If you haven't read it,
basically Gary, though, isn't he? I've always thought
Blue
that.
Is Gary.
Gary is Blue.
Blue is Gary, and Red is Gary because Red and Blue are red.
Yeah.
They are each other's rival.
Yeah.
They are the same person, just from an alternate universe.
Oh, okay.
There was also supposed to be Green, and it was going to be the female, but
kick ass.
There wasn't enough space in the game's code or whatever, and there wasn't enough time, so we never got a female.
Didn't Pokemon, the Green, first-gen Green game, that only released in Japan, right?
It was Japan only, and the reason it only released in Japan is because when we got Red and Blue, it was essentially Green, but they made it better for us, because it came out later. There was improvements and stuff to it.
And then Pokemon Yellow, which my favorite Pokemon game.
Yep, it's fucking amazing.
Which is what Eevee and...
No, it's just the first generation.
Yeah, but Pikachu and Eevee are going to be based off of...
Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee are based off
are based
Pokemon
off of Yellow specifically.
I'm confused.
Why?
It's just I feel like this Switch game, and V has explained this to me. She says it's to get like younger people into Pokemon again, which I understand, but I don't really think you need to.
It's so what it is
already a fucking cultural phenomenon.
Well, no. So what they're doing is they're capitalizing on the younger new people who are working on Pokemon Go, and it's also capitalizing on the old generation who dropped off after essentially the first couple of games, which is where I'm at. I played Pokemon Blue and I played Pokemon Gold, and I have not touched a Pokemon. Oh, I played a little bit of Pokemon Sun and Moon just for the TV show, and then ultimately sold my 3DS and that so I could buy my Switch because I'm far more interested in my Switch than I am.
What people don't realize about the new games, because I'm excited. I've been Pokemaniac since it came out, and I've been doing all the research. People are assuming it's just a Pokemon Go clone, and it's not. It's literally a carbon copy of Yellow with a few new features. The only thing that's different is catching Pokemon is like Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
And
it's integrated Pokemon Go into it minutely.
All the battling is
one-way trading.
Yeah. All the battling is still, it's the turn-based battling. Your Pokemon gain experience and level up. It's Pokemon. It's just capturing Pokemon is like Pokemon Go.
So you can trade from Pokemon Go to the Switch. Can you trade from the Switch to Pokemon Go?
So the thing about it though is also like your trade from Pokemon Go to the Switch is limited. They get put into like kind of a Pokemon park sort of where you can look at them on the Switch and do whatever you want there, but you can't use them in game.
They are
your Pokemon Go characters you can't use in game.
They're keeping my favorite mechanic from the new games, which is when you battle a Pokemon to catch it, after capturing it, your Pokemon still gain experience for participating in that battle. Which they didn't do in the old ones, but it makes sense because you do have to fight the Pokemon to catch it, so you should get some experience.
Yeah, so the interesting thing about this is though is that's what they're trying to do, is they're trying to capitalize, and that's the whole point of this game, because they are still working on the next gen Pokemon series,
2019,
but that is not what this is.
Captain over here is pissed off because the new games hold you.
I mean, if you think about it, when you go back and play through the originals, they're really easy, and
yeah, they're easy, but there are some parts of the game it's just like, what the fuck do I do now?
Oh, like that time, the first time you run into the Snorlax,
or the cave.
Yeah, it's just
all of it.
It was incredibly frustrating, but it also fed the grind as well.
Exactly.
I was kind of spoiled. I watched a friend play through it, and that's what really made me want the game, so I knew how to do everything when I got it.
I turned the game on, and instead of I just figured out stupid.
The only thing that stumped me, and I was angry about it forever until I learned the actual glitch for it, was that rumor that everyone thought you caught Mew by that truck, by SSN, and I would spend hours surfing around there, clicking on the truck, surfing. I was like, what? And then I just randomly, I figured out about the Mew glitch in the old games to get Mew, and I was like, oh, that's a lot easier. And then, as a kid, I started making money from people off the playground by getting them Mew in their Pokemon games.
That's dope. They were like, that's nerdy to the max.
They were like, how'd you get Mew? And I was like, oh, there's a Mew glitch. I want Mew. And I was like, give me $5. And I mean, as a 10-year-old third grader, $5 is a lot of money.
True. I have got a fucking jet.
All right, buddy.
So, like,
I think this is going to be where we end the podcast. Okay, so, guys, give us about 2 weeks. Hopefully, we're going to be back for the next. Yeah. So,
at the very least, we'll like turn the stream on and be like, hey, update.
Hopefully, we'll give you a tour of the new set. Hopefully, we'll be looking great. But yeah, we're going to meet next week, but we may not let you guys. Well, you know what? How about this? On my phone, we'll pop up and we'll do a little bit of a stream just to kind of show off the set and what we're working on for the meeting. So I will see you guys next week. Have a good... Oh, no, we will not. I'm so sorry. Anyways, watch us on Google Play, iTunes, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, CastBox, if that's your fucking speed. This is the last time we're going to stream on YouTube as well. Live. We're just going to do it on Twitch.
So we're just going to post an archive.
Yeah, because no one's watching...
On YouTube.
So check us out on Twitch. If you haven't followed already, hit follow, please. Support. What did he say?
Chris, you weren't... Oh, he'll miss us for next week.
Yeah. What do you think he said?
I thought he was like, we'll miss you on YouTube. Like, dude, go to Twitch.
Yeah, he's on Twitch.
Good.
He's been on Twitch this whole time. That's why I'm like, what?
Isn't he one of our mods now?
Not on this specifically, but next week I'll make him a mod for just another. He's a mod on my channel now.
Okay.
So next week I'll make you a mod.
Sick nasty.
And we'll see you guys. You guys have a great day.
See you later.
Bye.